Steel boots stomping, crashing the floor. Two wild Yinzers kicking through the door. Loud like a jag-off at a pins game fight. Brace yourself, this ride ain't polite. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Tales from the burg with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Tales from the burg with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Rivers collide where the laughs always flow. Black and gold thunder everywhere they go. The madcap kings breaking every mold. With two Dum Yinzers, the stories don't get old. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice.
I'm just over here laughing. It's always something with the crew. Welcome back, everybody. I'm here this morning getting ready for the show. I'm writing, I'm thinking, I'm brainstorming. And I hear coming down the hall, doom, 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 1, 2, 3. And it sounded like what resembled footsteps. And I thought, what the hell? What's the third doom? Doom. There's a third doom in there. So lo and behold, out of my peripheral, I look and I see Mike standing in my doorway here at the studio, and he's holding a cane in his hand. He's walking around here with a fucking cane. Now, Mike, of course, if you're familiar with the show, he's been hurt in many bizarre ways before. I recall he hurt his back by hurt his neck by going backwards in his car, going reverse in the car.
It was my back. It was my back.
And there was other things as well. But Mike, unbeknownst to me, now is walking around with a cane. Mike, what's going on with you?
So this all started probably back November, December, peak season where I work, busy time of year in the shipping industry. And like I tweaked my knee. I've had bad knees my entire life. And I'm like, all right, I'll hobble along, I'll get through it. And then one day I'm covering for someone covering their work area. And I walk into this truck, miss the dock plate because it was parked differently than the others in the line, and my knee went something like this. It went away it's not supposed to, and it's probably did something to my meniscus. It is
your meniscus.
My meniscus, damn it. But I'm an athlete, okay? Fat Jesus, aka El Tigre, the big cat, the tiger. I kept working through this, going through this. It swells, goes down. I'm fine. I'm fine. Yesterday, I'm taking out trash. I walk down steps. One bag hits into the side of my knee. My knee goes sideways. Next thing I know, my knee's swelled up and I can't bend the fucker.
We got to get you. I mean, being the world class athlete that you are, we got to get you one of those knee braces that the offensive linemen wear.
Yeah. I need one of those. I wore those when I used to play offensive lineman back in the day. They're not going to fit me now because I've expanded that much. But my God, I need it, brother, because it hurts like a mofo. Sitting here right now, I'm just trying to like stretch it out because I'll stay in the seated position. Next thing I know, I'm not going to be able to bend my knee. It's a rough one here for a fat Jesus, but I'm going to overcome because I'm an athlete.
Now, are you going to see somebody because of this, or are you just going to let it linger and say, you know what, I've had a problem with it before and I've been okay? What's your plans moving forward?
To quote the Cranberries, linger. It's going to let it linger.
Got to let it linger.
Got to let it linger.
So Mike is on the, and I told him, I was like, Mike, you got to, I mean, it isn't your, when you walk in with crutches on your teeth or your tongue, I'll say, all right, stay home today. But there's nothing that's stopping Mike from working today. And also, I got to say this, Mike, you look different. And I don't know if you did this. I don't know why you did it, but look at your face. You're all shaven up today.
Yeah. Like I was telling you, appreciate like when the beard grows in, it curls out, makes my face look fatter, make me look all fatter and stuff. So I was like, I'm gonna shave it up, trim it up a bit. And then I forget, like my beard grows in at an awkward angle. Now I look like a fucking doucher. Mistakes were made, brother.
Wow.
I can't win anyway. Good thing I have a great personality because in the looks department, we're not batting 1,000 right now.
Hey, we know now that you are kind of on the injury list. So
yes, but I look better than this mofo right here. Okay, at least my eyes aren't going in 45 different directions. My ears aren't flying out.
And you are on the diet now too, so the diet should be kicking in pretty soon.
I'm on the diet. I'm already down like 7 pounds. I'm feeling good, brother.
And I don't know what kind of diet this is. Like I said, as soon as the diet started, there started being more food here at the studio. So whatever diet you're on, I like it. Keep it up.
It's working, brother. It's working.
I don't care if you lose 100 pounds or gain 100 pounds at this point. Stay on this diet. The food has been great here at the studio. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the show. This is the two Dum Yinzers. This is episode 943. Mike, by the end of next week, we'll be hitting 950. Next Friday will be the big 950, which means only a little over 100 hours left until the big 1,000 at that point, with 50 shows left. So this is a lot of big things coming down the pike. A couple other big things, Mike. Here's a concern of mine.
Yeah.
All right. So, I mean, and listen, I don't want to get into politics, but I'm just going to get to my point that I'm trying to make, and it has nothing to do with politics, so bear with me. Last night, we were getting ready to bomb Iran, okay? And they pushed it back 2 weeks. Now, why is this important? So 2 weeks is 2 days before the draft. So let's say that, we bomb another country. I mean, Iran is crazy as it is. And then 2 days later, you're going to be in the middle of 800,000 people that you don't know. I don't know. I'm just hoping that, you know what? It's so crazy because back in 9/11, I was going to a WWE pay-per-view down at Civic Arena. It was an Unforgiven, and it was literally the week before. It was Tuesday before the Saturday, or whatever it was that I had to go to the pay-per-view Sunday. So it wouldn't be my first time going through this, but it's certainly concerning. And as I said, you're around 800,000 people that you don't know, and crazy things always happens when it's the large crowds of people. So again, I don't know. Whatever my opinion is politically, I hope that it keeps getting kicked down the road. Certainly past that point anyway. Because come on, what's the chances? What's the chance?
Right? Get it done. What's going to happen first? We bomb Iran or Aaron Rodgers signs.
Right.
And that's what we need to figure. That's the real thing, right? Are they entwined? Where's Corey? We need to get him to the bottom of this to figure out, the Strait of Hormuz, Aaron Rodgers, what's going on? I believe they are connected, and we will get to the bottom of it. Not on the show, but we'll figure it out one way or another.
We're going to get to the bottom of this.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get to the bottom of this. Good afternoon, good morning, wherever you may be. Welcome back to the show. 9:43. Here are the two Dum Yinzers. Let's say what's up to everybody on the board. What's up, everybody on the board? Tortilla says this. You guys see the moon at the Rays game? I did not. What's going on with the moon at the Rays game? Curious to see what that's about. RB, he says this. He says, "Hey guys, who I said to watch out in the later rounds are coming in for a visit today. Of course, we got 3 more visits today." RB says UConn's wide receiver Skylar Bell and BYU's linebacker Jack Kelly both coming in today for visits. Yesterday, of course, we did have 3 people come in as well. We had Denzel Boston, the wide receiver out of Washington, Darrell Jackson, the defensive tackle out of Florida State, and also Jaden Duggar, the linebacker from Louisiana Lafayette, were in town yesterday to talk with the team. Today, as RB is saying on the board, UConn's wide receiver Skylar Bell, BYU's linebacker Jack Kelly, and also Miami safety Jacoby Thomas. These 3 will be in today in town to get more preseason. I'm sorry, the pre-meetings. Mike, I think as of yesterday, we were 17 out of 30 out of our 30 meetings. I don't know. Doesn't look like any of these are going to be local. So it's going to put us somewhere right around 20 when it's all said and done. But Mike, things are working. Things are moving in the right direction. And, you know, with all these things that are changing, you're not hearing about stories about, well, this got effed up, or, oh, man, this coaching staff just isn't used to this or that. Everything has kind of gone smooth so far as I'm watching all these visits come and go, and everything is business as usual.
Yeah, I'm liking that. You know, this is the advantage of having an experienced coach and experienced coaching staff come in. You're not having any weird little hiccups along the way. I like it. It's just been a smooth transition. You know, like you said yesterday, man. Like everyone in the Steelers office is, everything's humming along. Everyone's on the same page. I said, this is what happens when you go from an experienced staff to another experienced staff. Yes, there's going to be differences here and there, but McCarthy's a pro's pro. He's been around a long time. He knows not to come in and upset the apple cart. If he wants to make changes, he's going to do them slowly and appropriately. And you probably wouldn't have that with a younger coaching staff that wants to come in and shake things up, put their stamp on the organizations. And Mike McCarthy, not only just being a local guy, but being a guy who's been in the NFL for a long ass time, he knows how the Steelers operate. He knows how things are ran. So just don't come in, upset the apple cart, make the changes you need to make changes to. And, Omar Khan's been here forever. Weedle's been around the NFL, and they all worked together previously too. So things are just running so smooth that you like to see it. It's not a dysfunctional organization like you see at the Browns, the Bengals, the Cardinals. All the usual suspects where they get a new coach and they think everything's going to be hunky-dory and things are all fucked up. It's not going to happen here in Pittsburgh, and that's just not how the organization operates. And doesn't care who the owner is. There's a lot of people in that front office that have been there for decades, and they're not going to allow someone to come in and upset the apple cart. And it's just been going great, man. I'm loving it.
The people that are generally doing bad in life are the people that are using terms like hunky-dory. So maybe that's Cleveland's problem. If they would quit thinking things that are hunky-dory, maybe things would start turning around.
Hey, man, don't be hating on hunky-dory.
Just Learning, what's up, my brother? He says, my bros, what's up, dude? Always great seeing Just Learning on the big terrible board. Welcome. Good afternoon. Good morning. Also, Steel Loyal, he says, I like Skylar Bell a lot. I do hear a lot of good things about Skylar Bell. Also, I do want to say good day to you, Steel, as well. Steel Loyal follows it up by saying, whoa, Vanilla Thunder lost his mustache.
Yeah, it was time. It was time.
Just Learning says this. He says Mike Vrabel making it with Diana Rossi. What's this all about?
A head coach and NFL reporter got busted lounging and hugging and playing around the pool somewhere.
Are they married to either?
No, I think they're married to other people.
Oh, okay, that's a problem.
Doing stuff. Yeah, I think, don't quote me on it 100%, but yeah, there's Yeah, and she would always get all these great scoops when he was down in Tennessee. He's not there. Her Tennessee reports were off. Now he's up in New England. All of a sudden, AJ Brown to New England. So Vrabel feeding her information, and
And like I said, I mean, if they're not married, who cares? What's the big deal?
But I think one of them is. So one or both. I'm not 100% sure.
Steel Loyal says, just to go team, Mike, I like it. I like it. See, there you go. You got some positive reinforcement coming back on the goatee. Let's go right here. RB says this. I seen a guy grabbing shorts one night and threw up the dock door and turned to talk to a guy and went over the dock plate, the truck, and they pulled the truck out and he went down.
That's a fall.
How long have you been doing dock work, Mike?
What, 5 years now on the production line? Yeah, as worker and as supervisor. So I should know the layout, but sometimes trucks are in different spots in the lineup, and they have the tailgates are different lengths and widths and blah blah blah. Sometimes you're not looking before you're stepping, and next thing you know, you're flat on your face.
I got to be honest with you. In the late '90s, I did work at a place where I got to work on a dock, and I loved it. I loved it. I just unloaded trucks and loaded trucks all day long. And, and for a 20-year-old guy, it was doable. There was, I mean, there were some chicks that worked there and stuff. So, I mean, it made it worth it, but I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it, especially at 20 years old. You're invincible. So, loading and unloading boxes out of the back of the truck all day was nothing. I got home at the end of the day and I still went and did my thing. But again, I don't know at this age. And I know you work with some older folks, but that's a tough job. It's physically demanding. Especially working in the back of those trucks, unloading them, loading them. Again, I don't know what capacity you do, but it was one of my better jobs that I had early on in my life, and that's saying a lot because again, I hated all my jobs when I was younger.
Yeah, this one isn't too bad. There's some bullshit you got to deal with, but I liked it. I liked now being the supervisor position. It's not bad, not a bad gig.
Let's move on. Tyrone says this. JPJ is the motherfucking GOAT, baby. That's right. JPJ comes out and says he cannot wait. He knows it's not going to be this year, which I kind of wish it was now. But he's going on and saying he cannot wait to play George Pickens when the time comes. Of course, we are not scheduled to play the Dallas Cowboys this year, but this is something that JPJ did come along and say, Mike, because he was going on about a couple catches that was made against him in practice when Pickens was here. I can't wait to see that matchup either, Mike. And at the end of the day, Pickens is he's so freakish. So it's going to be a very fun matchup when we do see it, providing we ever see it. You just never know. You never know, because who knows, by the time the cycle comes around and we get the NFC East again, Pickens could have caused major chaos and been shipped down the road. You know what I mean? We just don't know.
Yeah.
Because we're still a couple of years off from playing that division again. But JPJ, George Pickens, Mike, that one could be quite the billing going into the game against the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh yeah, especially now since both have matured as players. And definitely JPJ, his game's gotten so much better since he came into the league. Pickens still kind of, don't get me wrong, he's a dominant force, but his game still looks like it's the same, and that's not a knock on him. He's good, but I think JPJ has caught up to George Pickens, and I think that'd be a fun matchup, man. Just those two at the line battling. I think that'd be a good one.
It would be a good one. I couldn't agree with you more. I want to say what's up to Dude. Dude says, afternoon, fellas. Always great seeing Dude on the board. Tyrone, what's going on, Mike and Ryan? On my man, what's going on with you, Ty? Hope things are going good, sir. Steel Loyal says GTA 6 going to be released before the Aaron Rodgers signing.
That's a good one.
I like this one. This is let me just read how it.
Yep.
Man who needs cookies. Man who needs cookies is how that's pronounced. That name. He says, I want Ryan to use me as his personal human toilet. And I don't know if you want me to use your toilet. Believe me, you don't know what goes in my toilets. I'm just saying. Tortilla says this. Look up fan at Rays game or fan catches fly ball at Rays game. I will check that out. Kind of curious to see what's going on with that. At the Rays game last night, RB says this. Senator Fetterman already asked for National Guards at the draft 4 weeks ago due to possible protesters or whatnot. And again, now the ceasefire deadline is 8 o'clock on Tuesday night of that week. and people are going to be gathering at the draft in the morning of Thursday, getting ready for the big event here in Pittsburgh, the biggest event ever in Pittsburgh, PA. So again, I hope the security is there too. It could be a bit unnerving, especially, if something like this goes down. And, let's go to Corey. Corey, don't drink that. He said this. Corey said, hey, did you guys hear about Trump's new order where college players only get one transfer and they can't play into their late 20s anymore? They also can't defund other sports to pour it into football. I did not hear that. Mike, what do you got on this?
It's an executive order. Those things are easily overturned, easily challenged. So it doesn't. It's a big old nothing burger.
Without leaving politics aside, I think that some of these are good ideas. I mean, people are starting to complain more and more about, these transfer portals, and just, kind of defies against what sports really should be about, which again, you can't police that. But on the other hand, also, what else? Guys playing into the late 20s, we make fun of that all the time. Guys that are, getting drafted at Chris Wanke getting drafted at 29 years old back in the day. And, nowadays players seem to be staying a lot longer, guys staying not only into their fourth year, but their fifth or sixth year. So again, I understand people are going to give their opinions, and I understand all that BS that's going on. But to me, some of this stuff doesn't sound that bad if you're trying to keep the league successful, because some of these things can be, I think people would agree, making things difficult in college football.
The thing is that, like, making it a blanket, no 5-year cap, like medical redshirt, medical issues, shit that comes up that's outside of an athlete's control, that there's normally allowances for. That stuff needs to stay. Saying you can only transfer one time, okay, then coaches cannot leave in the middle of their contract. Then Lane Kiffin can't bounce around from program to program. John Calipari can't jump around from program to program. It can't just we're going to punish the kids, but we're going to allow these coaches to rake in millions of dollars and do whatever the hell they want to do.
Considering that it's their job, and the kids are still in college working toward their job. I think that's
more or less, like, let's be real here. College football has always just been a feeder system for the NFL.
Well, if you're doing great academically, it does well for the school as well. And so again, you really have to go clear across the board if you're going to do this. But at the end of the day, I don't want to take all episode on it, but point taken. I do see what you're saying. Let's do scoot along here. Let's go to the RBs, or my man RB in the house from the crew. He says this Corey has 5 years of sports eligibility for athletes no matter what. It's a good move in my own. I do too. I do too. That's just my opinion though. Let's do scoot up here to Tortilla. He says, good. I hate seeing kids play 3 different schools. Again, me too. At the age of 27, Mark Malone, Vrabel, going to have to see Father Maxwell for a confession. Let's go right here. Jamal, my man. I'm sorry, Corey. Corey, don't drink that. Says my thing with that is how the F you got time to worry about that while you're dealing with Iran. He's not age for multitasking. Jamal says, gang, what's up, brother? Always great seeing Jamal on the terrible board, my friend. I hope all is well for you as we go 15 days to the draft. Always great seeing Jamal on the board, my man. Tortilla says Vanilla's Doc. I don't want to think about that. Tyrone asks, how many visits do we have left? We have roughly 10. I know it was 17 yesterday. There's 3 people coming in today. I could be off. Maybe I'm missing something, but it's right around 10 visits left. I'm like
10 or 13, because like the local visits don't count for the top 30. And there's been at least 3 local visits so far, with Jaden Duggar counting because he grew up in the area, Kyle Lewis because he went to Pitt, and the tight end from Penn State. So I think we still have probably it's around 10 to 13 visits left. Yeah. And if any of those other guys are local visits, that won't count against it as well. So
if that answered your question at all,
well, it's vague, man. It's like 10 to 13, depending on, those local visits.
He said, Tyrone's probably sitting there thinking, okay, we got about 10 to 13 left. Let me ask the guys. I'm sure they know. And then we, in about 14 minutes, explained how we have 10 to 13. And
yeah. Hey, I'm answering questions.
Stop yelling at me.
You stop yelling.
Just Learning says this. I work at a gym cleaning. The view is everything. Yes, I can imagine so.
Check out the buns on that one. Yeah,
Hey,
bet he works out.
Thanks, man. Ty says this. How many visits we got left? Okay, we did get this one. Scoot up here to Jamal. Jamal says, ain't no way I'm moving boxes. That's what I'm saying. Back in the day, I didn't mind it. I mean, you know, drink a bunch of coffee before you went in to move boxes. Next thing you know, the day was over. You lost 50 pounds and you were in good shape. Now, you know, getting older, it's different. Things are a little different now. So it be what it be. Ragu, I do want to say what's up. Welcome back to the board, the terrible board. Ragu 8804 says hello, Yinzers. Hello, chat. Great to see you back on the board today. Hope everything is well for you. Ragu.
What up?
Tyrone says 24 guard whoever and whenever. I don't even care who it is. Ty says. JPJ says he could shut him. He could lock him down.
Lock him up.
Jamal says GP the GOAT. Steelers dumb as hell. I know. And we're gonna get into a little something similar to this today. We're gonna talk about Lemon a little bit, and you'll see. Let's go to Tortilla. He says 10-14 slots remaining is what I'm seeking. I don't know though. Pickens made him look bad. Mark Malone, what's up, dude? Always great to see Mark Malone on the terrible board. As always, Mark Malone in the house, everybody. Mark says this. Pickens made him look bad. He sure did. But it's a couple years down the road. Mm-hmm. You know, we'll see. We see. Again, I could see JPJ's game improving every year. Again, certainly from the way that he tackled and the use of his hands certainly has gone down. Like those penalties dropped pretty drastically last year.
Yeah, they did. And like in those practice videos too, like if there was in a live game, there probably would have been offensive pass interferences called on George Pickens because he was just throwing in JPJ all around.
Let's go. Ty says Porter Island right there. And Jamal back at him with a GP greater than JPJ.
This is why we need to find a defensive back named Epstein, baby.
Epstein.
Yeah, put him at corner. Put him on an island out there.
Yeah, there you go. Epstein Island. Let's go right here. Let's go to Tortilla. He says, "Ayo, what's up, brother? Always great seeing the great Tortilla Jackson from Sacramento, California. He's in the house as always. Always great to see you, my man. What's up?" Steel Loyal says, "Laughed my ass off. Jamal doing some rage baiting today. It's all good. That is all good, man." Jamal says, "Laughed my ass off. Yeah, that was for Tyrone, but it didn't work." Ty says, "Nice try, my guy." Let's scoot up here. Tortilla. I thought Ceasefire was C's Candy's competitor. Laugh my ass off. Still Loyal says this. I would have thought that would have got him, Jamal. It usually does too. Ty is he's tightening up his game. I noticed he's not taking the bait. Looking good out there, guys. Everybody looking good. Jamal says, "Yeah, me too." He follows it up by saying GP's the GOAT, though. He knows it. It's not debatable. Pretty damn good, man. It would sure be nice to have him, and it would sure be still nice to have him at the end of the day. Corey, don't drink that, said there's also supposedly going to be a cap on NIL deals to encourage players to leave college sooner for the pros. Ty says this, not anymore. I know that 24, oh, no more debate, arguing needed. He says, I know this, man. I know this, man. And you know this, man. Tortilla says Taco Bell sucks.
Oh, okay. Now we're getting into some fighting.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. I like. Oh man, that's poking the bear on that one.
And Steel Loyal agrees. He says, "Oh shit, it's on." Ty says JPJ check. Tortilla says, "I'm eating Taco Bell right now." He says, "Don't even play." Let's also scoot up here to Steel Loyal. Steel Loyal say Taco Bell is going to be eating you in about 30 minutes. Ty don't even care. He don't even care, man. You know what? I don't either. Tacos are awesome. Let's go to RB. Said I've been moving and stacking boxes for 22 years. That's the thing. I didn't hate the job. As long as there's females in the building, that's fine. I'll do anything as long as there's females around. Let's scoot up to Ty. Ty says Taco Ball. I like it a lot. Let's go to RB. RB says this. He says top 30 visits do not need to be made public. The league will know, but are not required to be made public, so no one knows what is left. Really, it seems to me, if I had to guess, I'd say right around 10, but Mike says 10, 13. And I did figure the some of the locals into till about yesterday. So again, I'm not sure. I don't know if there was Duggar, of course, would have been local yesterday. So you could add that into the equation. But besides that, I don't know. I would say roughly 10. Mike says 10 to 13. So if that helps at all, Taco Bell is the go man. You know what? I've been in the mood for some tacos lately. I missed it yesterday because Mike got some of the best pizza in town. I mean, this is the good pie, and maybe gives me heartburn worse than any other. But it is really the best, the most delicious pizza to eat, and it pushed my Taco Bell back another day. But I'm going to get to Taco Bell real soon. Actually, I've been thinking about it for a while because of Tyrone. But guys, I do want to say welcome back everybody to the show. This is the Two Dum Yinzers, and as you know, Wednesday is.
No, I said hump everything. What? Too much.
It's hump day in the house. Welcome to the show. This is the Two Dum Yinzers, and Mike has no facial hair, and he's walking with a cane. God damn, man, we got all kind of issues here, but that's all right. That's all right. Look at him, just like with this cane. Where'd you even get this cane? Where did you? Like I said yesterday, I seen you, and you were fine. Today, I hear you clunking down the hallway with a fucking cane.
Dude, I was so bad. Like at 2 a.m, I was getting up ready for work, and I could not move my knee. I had to call my boss. I talked to him like, yeah, dude, like my knee's all fucked up. I can't come into work today. He's like, all right, yeah, it's cool.
You didn't go to work because of your knee?
No, yeah, I couldn't walk, man. It hurt. And then later, he called me after work, see how I was doing. He's like, to be honest with you, I really didn't hear you because my Bluetooth disconnected from my car. But what did you say your knee's all fucked up? I'm like, yeah. Did you do it at work? No. He's like, all right, cool.
Hey.
Yeah, that's another thing. I should have said, yeah, we could have filed a complaint and I could have raked them in for millions of dollars. But that would be fraud. We do not do that.
Let's go right here to Corey. Corey says this. He says, when I eat Taco Bell, I feel like that South Park episode, Human Centipede. I apologize to my toilet. Oh no, here from the Burritos Supreme. Tortilla says this: if they put an escape room inside Taco Bell, Tyrone would be in heaven. And finally, Mark Malone says, I'm going to make some tacos tonight. That sounds great. Mexican's always good. Mexican is always good.
So fucking good.
Pirates, Mike, they win again last night, 7-1 over the Padres. They improved their record to 7-4 overall. Paul Skeens goes 6 1/3 of an inning. Mike flirting with a no-hitter all the way into the 6th inning. He gives up a run that inning, though. He finishes with Paul Skeens. If I could find where I have it here, Paul Skeens finished with giving up 2 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, had 6 strikeouts on the night. He gets the win as the Pirates, Mike, they finished the last of 3 today against the San Diego Padres. That game had started 15 minutes ago. Game 3 is the afternoon game here in Pittsburgh. Then they go on the road to Wrigley to take on the Cubs for 3, and then they're back home for about another week. So go Buccos. Mitch Keller on the bump today. Hopefully we could win this series. Mike, if we win, it'll be 3 series wins out of the first 4. We'll certainly take it. Other big news with the Pirates, Connor Griffin getting his contract figured out, Mike, 9 years, $140 million, the richest contract in Pittsburgh Pirates baseball history. As a matter of fact, Mike, Connor Griffin is just in his since they came home, he's only been in the league. He wasn't even in the road series to start the year. Connor Griffin, Mike, he had 2 hits yesterday. He went 2 for 4, 2 RBIs and a run, already looking like he's off to a good start. And also Brandon Ashcraft, Mike, who pitched the other day. He is only the 4th Pirates pitcher. There's only 3 ahead of him that has, in the live ball era, posted better ERA in their first 10 games than Braxton Ashcraft, Mike. It would be Cy Blenton back in the 1930s, Zach Duke back in 2005, and Paul Skeens in 2024. Nobody else has had a lower ERA than Ashcraft has in Pirates history after first 10 games.
I like it, man. Looks like we got ourselves a baller right there. Paul Skeens, man, I can't wait till the day he gets some no-hitters, a complete perfect game. He's definitely going to have that. I was hoping last night he would get the no-hitter. But, hey, we got the win. That's all that matters. Connor Griffin.
He's going to
man.
get it. Don't get me
Oh,
wrong.
he is too. Yeah,
Just a
he'll
matter
get
of
it.
time.
Yeah.
He will probably get multiple no-hitters in his career. I mean, come on. We have a nice young team right now. It's crazy. And we're paying money. So we'll see how this whole thing plays out. But Mike, the other team heading to the playoffs here soon, the Penguins, I forgot to mention the other day when I announced their last score, when they did beat the Florida Panthers up over the weekend, Mike, they eliminated the Florida Panthers from the playoffs. Now, mind you, 3 years ago, when we first got eliminated and broke our streak of like 18 years or whatever it was in a row going to the playoffs, the Penguins, it was the Florida Panthers that eliminated us. And then they went on to go to the Cup. And then last year, in the second year, they went on to the Cup. Last year, they went on to the Cup. Now they're going to be they're eliminated by us. And if the Penguins get in, I don't know. This thing kind of feels like it's going in a complete circle, Mike. And maybe the Penguins could do something big in the playoffs.
I would love that. To be able to get into the playoffs. Like you said, have that whole cycle come full circle for this core to go on a Stanley Cup run, maybe win one, wrap up the career of Letang, wrap up maybe Malkin's time here in Pittsburgh. That'd be an awesome full circle story. If there's one player that could will it to happen, it would be a healthy Sidney Crosby, and I hope it happens too. And I think also in that game too, I think Malkin passed Yager in point total as well as the Penguins or all time. A lot of good things are happening with the Penguins right now.
So there are Pirates, our Penguins, everybody's looking good. And Mike, the Steelers, you got to feel optimistic about what's going on earlier. Again, kind of off to a pretty seamless start. Not any really issues. Again, a whole new coaching staff coming in. That whole thing. It really, always you got to give yourself a little wiggle room. And so far, we haven't needed it. Coach M and staff things are looking good. We're going to get into that and a lot more today. Let me just grab a few more of these messages before we do that. I don't want to get far behind. I'm going to go right here to, where am I going to go? I'm going to go right here. Steel Loyal says, y'all see the brawl with the Braves and the Angels? I have not. I'm missing all kind of good baseball stuff. I missed the Tampa Bay raid the moon at the Rays game. I missed this big fight.
Dude had the ball in his hand when the guy was charging him and whacked him in the head with the ball in his. And this is what I hate, baseball. Oh, there's a brawl. No, you got balls there, you got bats there. Fucking use them as weapons. Because if a pitcher throws at me, I'm charging the mound with my club and I'm swinging. Why is it okay for him to head hump but not me? And if you're going to charge the mound at me and I got the ball in my hand, I'm beating you with the ball in my hand. This is heady gamesmanship. This is smart. I like it. I don't think he should be suspended. I think he should actually be rewarded and paid extra by MLB for thinking outside the box.
I like fights in baseball, and
I love it.
And I'm the guy that likes crashes in NASCAR. So anything that kind of excites, brings the excitement level up in some of these sports, I'll take it. The fight in baseball, the fight in hockey, the car crashes in NASCAR. Sometimes you need a little bit of this extracurricular to keep the sport spiced up. So I will check that out. Braves and Angels, you say. Tyrone says my Reds are on fire. It's gonna be pretty tight this year between us, the Reds, and Milwaukee. Watch, it's gonna come down to it. All three got pretty good teams, all three within a game, I think, of one another in the division. Let's go right here to Tortilla. He says that Griffin contract looks like a steal.
I think it will be too. If it's going to take a while for him to completely adjust and become acclimated to the MLB game because he only played in the minors for a little bit last year. So I'm willing to let him struggle, but my God, what you can see, he's going to figure it out sooner than later.
Yeah. I mean,
once he does,
other people, Mike, there's guys that's been in the pros for years that are struggling.
Yeah.
And then Connor Griffin, 19 years old, steps right in and is able to do what he's doing so far. And again, big 2 hits yesterday. RBIs, 2 RBIs, 1 run. The other day, he gets the big double, his first ever at bat in the pros. Mikey gets a double, knocks in some runs, and ultimately helps win that game by scoring his run. So big things coming down the pike for the Pirates and Connor Griffin. We're excited getting the Pirates underway today in the rubber match between the Padres. They head off to Chi-Town, the Windy City, if you will, tomorrow, and they'll be taking on the Cubs starting on Friday through the weekend. So big game. Big game today. Get this win the series, be looking good. And here's the thing about the Pirates. Every single person is a Pittsburgh guy. If the Pirates start to play well and start to exceed exceed expectations, every male in the Western Pennsylvania area is going to love it. It's everyone. I mean, people love the Pirates. I mean, and here's the thing: nobody really says it because they're so pathetic and terrible all the time. So we don't want to be embarrassed. We don't admit it. But there's not a guy in Western PA, Mike, that won't be excited if this Pittsburgh Pirate team becomes a competitor this year and gets anything close to what it was in 2013, 14, and 15. At the end of the year, being in the race. You know what I mean? And they make so much money that stadium sells out. I just don't understand the thought process of the owners and the GM, Mike, that took this long to get this to this point where they decide, hey, you know what? Let's spend money to try to win to make more money.
Exactly.
There's a concept that works called business.
Yeah, and you're paying your young superstar early. Hopefully, you can get your pitcher locked up sooner rather than later. You got a fun thing going with hoisting the cone that people are buying
there
into.
It is, everybody.
And you can find that over at our new merch store. Hoist
Look at that,
the
very
cone.
affordable. The price is down too, guys. Listen, this is not the point of the show. It never is.
It's not. It's not. It's just a fun little thing here.
But Mike did create that. Put that back up. What are you doing? What's the matter with you? And Mike created this with his own creativity. He says that he's not creative, but I disagree. Look, he created, of course, the big thing, if you're missing it, if you're from out of town, now when the Pirates do something good, they always have some kind of rally thing that they do in the dugout. And if they hit home runs, whatever, they go to the dugout and put a cone on their head, which is symbolic of the Western Pittsburgh area.
Exactly.
Some people even calling it, Mike, our state flower, if you will.
It is. You can tell spring is near because the traffic cones, they bloom before any of the goddamn flowers.
They sure do. It's unbelievable. You see more cones in this town than you see grass or flowers at the end of the day. But that is the new big thing here in town. Do check it out. And the price is down again to $16. I'm definitely getting me one, Mike.
That money.
It was what the Zoltan. What was that?
Zoltan.
The Zoltan back in the 13, 14, and 15.
Yeah.
Every time that somebody does really good, they have that one good rally thing. And this year we have cones. But I do have to say this, Mike. The the state police are actually reporting saying people were stealing a lot of these cones, taking them to the games, and obviously not things that need to be blocked off by big orange cones aren't being blocked off anymore. So this could be an issue.
It could be an issue. And this reminds me of my youth. We want to go out and get the little cones. We would go and get the big ass barrels to see how many you could collect. The blinking lights, because each color represented like a different department. My brother had like the yellow, the red, the blue. I remember me and my buddies, we took his mom's minivan, and here I am with our starting left tackle hanging outside the minivan. I'm trying to pull him back in while he's pulling in a traffic cone while there's a cop behind us.
Yeah.
It's just fun, stupid little things you do when you're younger. And I'm glad to see now that people are continuing that tradition by grabbing these traffic cones and taking them to Pirate games.
It's funny.
It's funny. It's not hurting anyone. Hopefully stealing these traffic cones is not hurting anyone because, my God, it's a fun little prank. Let us have our fun, Pittsburgh.
But again, do check that out. I mean, again, it's funny, it's cool. It's and again, that's not the purpose of this show ever. I just wanted to Mike did create that. We thought it was kind of funny.
So. It's funny if anyone buys it, that money goes right back into
absolutely
production value for the show.
Let's do Scoot Up, Mike. Mark Caboli, the great Mark Caboli here in Pittsburgh is on the board. Mike, he says, "Who said Taco Bell?" Let's do Scoot Along here. Great to see Caboli. Mike, still to myself over the evening, I just kept thinking of again, I don't remember if it was Tortilla or if it was Steel Lawyer, who it was. Or Cody could even been when they said that Mark Caboli eats with his ass open. For whatever reason, that makes me laugh. It's something that just makes me laugh. I don't know. He eats with his ass open because people say that you eat with your mouth open, and that's what makes it funnier, I think, is the fact that he eats with his ass open. I don't know. It makes no sense, but it makes me chuckle throughout the course of the day. It really does.
Like every time you bring it up, it makes me laugh because it's just like the visual is just perfect.
Yeah, it is. He follows it up by saying this at Tyrone. They make a cream for that. Helps out the fire. Lopez is a dog, Steel Loyal says. Also, Aaron Jade in the house. What's up, Aaron? Always great seeing you, brother. Aaron Jade says, "Here we go, Steelers with those rockets." I love that message. Always great seeing you, Aaron. Steel Loyal says, "As a Braves fan, Mike, I agree. Let's go right here to Tortilla. Tortilla says, "Headbutt ball, headbutt ball." Right here, Kaboli's back at it. Mike, he says, "Steelers are expected to draft up to 12 players within the month." You heard it here first. No one else has the scoop.
Factually correct.
And it's factually correct. There you go. I do want to say what's up to Georgianne. Always great seeing Georgianne on the terrible board. Hope things are going well for you, ma'am. Getting ready. We are just 15 days. 2 weeks from tomorrow will be the NFL draft right here in Pittsburgh, PA, if you can believe that. Right here, Tortilla says, "Me and Orange Code's been beefing since 2009. I just picture Tyrone on the side of the road beating the shit out of a traffic cone. Or Tortilla. Did I say? I meant Tortilla. Tyrone says, "Laugh my ass off." More Tortilla says this. He says, "Yeah, the Kabuli eating with his ass." That was you, Tortilla. That's Hall of Fame material.
Yep. But we said, in the rafters, Lemieux on one side, Crosby on the other.
I'm never not going to think that's not funny. You know what I mean? I'm never not going to laugh at that. I'm just not. I went Vega or Cooper at 21, and you know what? That could very well be Ty. It could very well be one of those two guys. Guys, let's get into it. Lots of things going on. Mike, we are in the where are we at? We're in the off-season workouts. I'm sorry. Everybody showed up for the off-season program, which was very surprising, Mike. Everybody, not a person that isn't on the roster did not show up. Even Broderick Jones, believe it or not, did participate yesterday at the off-season workouts. Mike, Broderick Jones participating yesterday.
Yeah, I saw that. It's a good sign to see him there.
It is. And it just makes you wonder, Mike, if how does this affect the draft? If, say, Broderick Jones comes in and he shows you that he's going to be somewhat, maybe be able to play. Again, at the end of the day, the big question is, what are you going to do at left tackle? Because you have Broderick Jones, who might have these injury issues. And so let's just say Broderick looks good this week. How does that affect things in less than 2 weeks? Because at the end of the week, you're going to be less than 2 weeks. Mike, how does that affect things in the draft? Again, the guards, obviously the wide receivers, but a lot of tackle talk's been being made lately.
Yeah.
We were talking yesterday about Fanu. We were talking about moving Fatanu to the other side. So how much does this play into the draft, Mike, being that Broderick Jones is even there and participating?
It could play a lot into the draft, because if, he finally, he's in the building now, the coaches and the medical staff can get a real good sense of how that injury is progressing. See how he's feeling, not just physically, but also mentally too. A bad injury like that, it could set you back, because he was starting to play better football. How is he mentally? Is he going to be ready for the season? Is this going to hinder his development and growth as he continues to play? So if they find everything is tracking in the right direction, it could potentially move tackle off the board for the first round, and maybe even move it down to like a day 3 type.
That's what I'm saying.
Area. But also on the flip side, if it's not looking good, okay, hey, we definitely need to reevaluate. He might not be here for the year, and he might not even be here after, even if things are going well, because they still have yet to exercise that 5th-year option, which
Mike,
I don't think they are.
What's the chances? I mean, like, remember when Peter Parker got bit by a spider, and that's bad. But then he turns into Spider-Man. What if Broderick Jones, he got hurt, which is bad. What if he comes out of this playing like a good tackle?
He turns into Orlando Pace.
He turns into Orlando Pace.
Got pancake, turns into Orlando Pace. I put it at 0.1%.
Mike, you better watch your fingers. Mark Kaboli's in the house talking about pancakes. I'm just saying, watch your fingers.
I gotta keep them tight and close to my body. But it could also depend too. Like, okay, if he's looking good, I don't think they're going to exercise that 5th-year option.
No,
but hey, we bring him in, let him compete. If maybe we sign him to a contract to be that swing tackle backup guy. Hey, he did not progress the way we thought he did, but he still has a role on the team, maybe. But I think even that's far-fetched. I think for him, it's boom or bust this year. He has to go out, if he's healthy, and compete and win that job, but not only win that job, but solidify that spot to even have a chance of getting a contract in Pittsburgh or a big contract elsewhere.
Mike, you like I have seen a lot of players be inconsistent through their career, and it ends a lot of people's careers because of their inconsistencies. And we've seen people here through time in Pittsburgh come and go, and you're like, this guy, if he could just hit the baseball better,
Yeah.
but he's just so inconsistent. This guy. So if let's just say Broderick Jones comes around and he impresses. This week he's participating at the workouts, and it's like okay, and he puts on a good fight, and he fights through. And let's say he earns the left tackle spot.
Mhm.
How confident are you? Again, when you're talking about inconsistency, that's what worries me because again, I don't have a problem thinking that he could fight and win the battle for the position. When he wins the battle, that's when I start to get concerned because this is when you're ultimately eventually going to start seeing some of the bad habits. I mean, he's not perfect unless somebody came down and granted him 3 wishes. He's still going to have some of those tendencies. So at the end of the day, I feel confident, Mike, that if he does want to make this team, I think he can make it. I think if he wants to be a starter on what we have right now, for sure, he can certainly do that. It's what comes beyond that concerns me. Is it going to play on to the point? Maybe the timing on this is a blessing because maybe it's going to come to a point to where we're going to be able to react in the draft accordingly. So again, I think that this week, Mike, is kind of a blessing in disguise that he did come. He did participate. We're able to get an overall look on him, but that's my only concern. He could play up to the level that we need him to be, but once he gets in there and we pass on tackles because we're okay with it and we're Broderick Joe.
Yeah.
Is he going to be consistent? Is he going to be a problem? Is it going to come down to halfway through the season where you're like, oh my God, we're definitely going to be going to tackle this year in the draft? Or you know what I mean?
Yeah, and there's a brand new coaching staff. No, not just head coach, but he's going to have 2 new position coaches. Are they going to be able to think and be comfortable that they can correct all of his shortcomings and mistakes in such a short amount of time, whilst also overcoming his injury and rehabbing it? And I just right now it has that feeling that Dylan Cook is going to be your starting left tackle, and Broderick Jones might start the year on IR, depending on even if he's healthy enough. Maybe do they just want to set him down for a while to let him be completely healed and get back out there? Because that injury is no joke, man. That stuff can ruin your end your career. So it's going to be a tough uphill battle for him. I just have a feeling like we maybe use a 3rd or 4th round pick on a tackle as a backup insurance to have someone to develop along the way in case he can't make it.
Well,
and
in
the Dylan Cook experiment doesn't work.
These kind of things are totally possible when you have 100 picks like we have.
Yeah,
so
I know a lot of people like him just because of his size. Some people don't like him because of his size, but maybe just a name that keeps popping in my head is Markel Ball out of Miami or was Miami or Florida, just because he came in for a pre-draft visit, so they were kind of looking at him. You also got just a couple other late round tackles out there that they could look at to potentially come in, and if they can develop, go to the right side and flip Fatano to the left. It's just going to be interesting to see what they do, and it wouldn't surprise me if they do take one in the later rounds. I think that would be the smart thing to do because, the RB always says too, you keep replacing O-line and D-line.
Absolutely. And
because you're going to pay huge money every year.
I mean, the only reason I would think that they were going to go top 3 or top 4 with a tackle would be if it turns into a disaster at these workouts. Maybe if he re-injures himself or if it's just a total shit show. But beyond that, I mean, we have ample picks and we have a dozen of them. So I mean that makes sense. At the end of the day, Mike, I do believe they'll probably get the tackle later on, no matter what.
Yeah. Or say if Vega's gone and Fano's sitting there, he's someone that can, I've been reading up on, he can move not only from left side to right side, but if they have to too, there's talk teams might want to transition him to transition him to guard as well. Some team thinks he's better suited there. So he gives you position flexibility if the Steelers were to draft him and Jones doesn't work out. You want to go with Dylan Cook at left tackle and put him at guard over Hoffman, or you want to start Hoffman and move your tackles around. So there's options just by picking one guy and depending on how everything goes. So there's a lot of intrigue at that left side, man.
Let's get back on the board. Tyrone says, I've been watching film on Cooper Jr. Man, DK Pittman outside and him in the slot would be nasty. And it's a good possibility. Cooper Jr. could certainly be our pick at 21. Ty says this. Oh, really? Is he okay? I think that's going back to Broderick. And as far as we know, and that's the word that we got is even Broderick Jones participated yesterday. So that's further along than I thought.
Yeah.
Certainly, with him saying that he might not be ready to play, come August, September. So he's participating. He's there. We'll keep our eye on that. I do want to say what's up to Kenneth Jones. Always great seeing the great Kenneth Jones on the terrible board. Hope things are going well for you. Hope you're ready for the draft. We're just 15 days, 2 weeks from tomorrow. If you can believe it, is the NFL draft. Always great seeing you, bro. Hope things are good, Kenneth. Mark Caboli back in the house. He says this, Fat Bully. Okay. He says, I, in fact, do eat with my ass open. I enjoy a nice spaghetti dinner while Tortilla's mom spreads my ass open and licks my butthole.
The fuck did we just wander into?
I don't know. What do we know about this tortilla? I just have to know what maybe Tortilla has to say about this. Corey, don't drink that, says Fat Bully is going to feel stupid when they trade 5 of their picks away to get better picks for 2027. Ty says this. Tyrone says we do need to try to get tackle later rounds. I agree, Mike, and that's the thing. I mean, that is a position of concern. I think just the level of what they're going to see here, Mike, this week for sure is going to play a role because they're not back at it until after the second leg, Mike, of these the offseason workouts will come after the draft. So, in May. So again, what they see this week from Broderick Jones and company is going to be, I think it's going to go a long way, Mike. But again, I think ultimately they do take a tackle no matter what, because you're going to get a safety, you're going to get a linebacker. All these guys are going to get picked eventually somewhere down the road to have people to compete. But those top 5 picks, in my opinion, those are the money makers. Those are the gold picks. You treat them top 5 picks like they're going to be possibly playing a lot of football for you in the very near future. But I think ultimately, depending on how this plays out with the tackles, Mike, I think we get that tackle, but it's just eventually if they're happy with what they see this week.
I think so too. And like you said, those 5 picks in the top 100, I get guys that can come in and make immediate impacts. But if there is a tackle there that intrigues you, that you can think, hey, if Dylan Cook doesn't work out, go ahead and snag him, and find someone that can play right away or in a pinch if that tackle position's not working out. But I just don't see it. I think it's going to be a later pick just because of the needs that we have. And of course, new coaching staff, are they all in love with Dylan Cook the way we in the old staff fell in love with him too? That's the big thing too. I kind of keep forgetting that when I evaluating the roster. It's a new staff, and they may not love all these guys the same way that the Tallman staff did.
Yeah. Let's go right here to Ty. Ty says this. He says, please, no Ball. He's trash. Is it Bell or Ball?
It is Bell. My bad, Joe. Good call. Good call there, buddy.
Joe said, he said, no, please, no Bell. He's trashed. Yinzer Joe says, isn't okay, got that. We're all straightened out. Bad. What's up, Yinzer Joe? Great seeing you, dude. Always great seeing Yinzer Joe. Certainly one of the OGs in the house. Always great seeing you, sir. Ty says, this, guys, I went Dexter Lawrence. Me too. I was thinking about this. And listen, I'm crazy. I went Dexter Lawrence and I went Joe Burrow. But listen, I don't tell people this stuff out loud because I know it's never going to happen because you know how people are. But my God, could you imagine having a franchise quarterback, providing we could keep him off the ground and keep him healthy, and then also having a Dexter Lawrence on the other side of the ball? This was just some of my daydreams yesterday, Mike. A little Dexter Lawrence, a little Burrow. I don't know. Just me being crazy.
In an awesome, perfect world, I would love it.
Yeah.
Give it to me in a heartbeat. Like I said, I will sacrifice Derpy's left testicle.
I would too.
To make this happy.
I'd throw the right one in as well. I mean, shit. Let's go to, but I couldn't agree more, Ty. I would love, that would be so nice to have Dexter here. So it would be huge. That would be huge.
It would be, man. Sexy Dexy.
Yeah.
Cam, Harmon. Then now your second wave of guys are looking good, looking a whole hell of a lot better. Man.
I couldn't agree more. Ty, what's going on? Yinzer Joe, my man. Always great seeing Yinzer Joe. Joe says this, though. Sorry, I haven't been here in a bit. Had a nasty storm and been cleaning out my flooded basement for a while.
Oh, that's not fun.
And you know what? The town I grew up in, it seemed like every single house had that issue when I was a kid, man. We always had so much water in our basement. I'm fortunate that I haven't had to deal with that for quite a few years, but I definitely know the pain. With the shop vacs and I feel you, bro. I hope things are getting better for you up there. Steel Loyal says, I'm cooking lunch and all I hear is spread my ass open. Yeah. Let's go to Ty. Ty says, damn, man. Hope things are well. Of course, that is to Joe. Corey, don't drink that. He says this. Corey says, that's a Tater burner account. That has to be. Mark Caboli, that has to be a Tater burner account.
But do we think Tater is that creative?
No, we don't. I don't know who it is. Who knows? It could be Caboli. He's giving some very telling details today, Mike. It could very well be the real thing. You never know. What the hell, Tortilla said. Also, let's go up here to Yinzer Joe. Thanks, Ty. It's getting better, my man. It sucks. I mean, if you're prepared for it, it's one thing. But if you're not, and you have like boxes, and you get,
fuck that nonsense. Then you got to worry about mold and mildew.
Yeah, exactly. You got to throw everything out.
Yeah.
You put things there to store it because it's stuff that you want, but you don't have space for, and then it gets ruined. Let's go up here. Tortilla says, I'm gonna beat the real Caboli's ass over the fake Caboli's comments.
And that's only that is fair. I'll allow it.
I'm gonna beat the real Caboli's ass over the fake Caboli's comments. I like that. Let's go up here to Ty. Ty says Omar has a plan with this draft. I trust. I do too. I do too. I'm happy. I'm content with what Omar Khan has done to this point. And as I said, if you're not, you have to think to yourself, the Steelers never in my life had what they did what they've done over the past 2 seasons. And again, it was, you have to see how things are going to play out. It's not, everything's not going to be perfect, but
yeah,
you start out, you bring over, think about the Steelers for your whole entire life. And then 2 years ago, you bring in Russell Wilson. I mean, come on, he wasn't great, but he was a big name around the league. Justin Fields, where he was picked out of the draft. I mean, and then you go beyond that, and you're looking at Jalen Ramsey, and you're looking at Aaron Rodgers from last year, and DK Metcalf, and Patrick Queen. All these people that Omar Khan got for us, Mike, you would have never seen this, and I've never seen it in the history of the Steelers. The way that, and it's not just going out and getting free agents; they're going out and Michael Pittman Jr. Yeah. I mean, this guy's going to be a huge part of this football team. And you never really seen the Steelers, and I know some of the older fans here would agree with me, Mike. I trust Omar Khan, and it's because I know that he's not afraid to make moves. And a lot of times John says on the board, of course, Big John Stud, he talks about what it is that Rooney allows them to do, but it's certainly been different under Omar Khan than it was with any of those GMs, Mike, leading up to this. So, whether he eased up a little bit or it's not the case, Omar Khan, he gets it done. And at the end of the day, people can say, well, you didn't win any Super Bowls. You're not doing, but you know what? Again, when is any time in your life you recall any players of that nature in the numbers that they've been coming here? Is it ever happening like that, Mike? Never. Maybe let's say you get one. You pull over a Kevin Green in 1995, and it's like, oh, look at this. We have a big name. But it's so different now, Mike. I'm content, and I do trust Omar Khan, and I am fired up for this draft.
Me too. And you figure, we brought in Justin Fields. Okay, cool. We brought him in. He started a few games. Same thing with Russell Wilson. They got us to the playoffs, but or close to the playoffs or playoffs. I forget we lost that year with them. I think it was. No, it wasn't the success what we wanted, but guess what? We flipped both of those guys into a 4th and 6th round pick. We flipped Deontay Johnson into Dante Jackson in a 6th round pick plus another 6th round pick in the comp pick. We let Dan Moore Jr. walk when someone like Kevin Colbert probably would have re-signed him. And guess what? Dan Moore Jr. is a 3rd round pick. We get a 3rd round pick for him. we would never would have done moves like this. We would have signed a lot of guys to where we'd never get any of these comp picks. Some of these, like Fields and Wilson, we never would have brought in to
Dude knows what
potentially
he's
lose
doing.
them to get that stuff. So we're adding picks, and it was all part of the plan for this draft this year in Pittsburgh. We were hoping to get our quarterback, but things change, and that now they're adapting on the fly, and they are. You see the moves that they're making are being to remain competitive, but also have these guys here for the next couple years while we build a team
I
and
don't think anybody.
you have a good quarterback in place. They have a plan in place. They've been executing it. It's a long-term plan. It sucks. We all want that quick fix turnaround, but got to remember, this is the Steelers. We were lucky
What's the big
to do what we're doing now.
What's the big argument against Omar Khan? And again, like I'm kind of going on about all the things that I like. I mean, you're right. Handling this on the fly, there's no blunders. There's nothing it's coming down the pike where you're like, oh shit. If the last guy or if we had somebody else, that's never the case. Omar Khan has been able to do this on the fly very well. And at the end of the day, Mike, what would be the argument against Omar Khan at this point? Because I have none, to be honest with you. I have zero.
People would say like, we haven't hit at the quarterback position. Well, the last regime liked veteran quarterbacks, so we've been going out and getting veteran quarterbacks. We didn't get that wide receiver too. Well, the last regime wanted to use tight ends, run the ball more. Doesn't matter who's out there. We're going to rely on the defense. Now you get an offensive head coach in here. Guess what? All of a sudden, we went out and got our wide receiver too. So he's building the team in the parameters of like what the owner and the head coach wants. Now we have a different head coach, and now he's reshaping the roster into that vision. And like I was saying before, like
you forgot what you were saying, wasn't
we want fans and all that. We want that big, massive, quick turnaround. Before Omar Khan came in, like you said, we didn't do all these little things that we're doing now. So to expect him to be given the autonomy to have a complete, total tear down and rebuild, that's not going to happen the way Seattle did it. So now we have to do it within the parameters set up by the owner of we want to remain competitive while also getting better at the same time and rebuilding, which is a tricky thing to do. And it's going to take a little bit longer. But if you're actually studying the Steelers, what they're doing, they've been chugging along and improving every year. Players are getting better every year. The results haven't been there, but you can see players every this new coaching staff with a more offensive minded outlook and a new look to the NFL. That should accelerate the growth of this organization.
Yeah, how about we let some of the viewers give their opinion for a while? Let's jump in here.
I take 45 minutes to talk, and I never hear the end of it.
Well, I just kind of ran on, and I
know what? Fine.
I know when I started falling asleep, I knew that it was running on. Let's see.
I know too. Like I had a thought. I wanted to get out there. I lost it again.
Yeah. You're still talking. Look at you. It must be this injury. I don't know what's going on with you.
I think it is, and I'm not even
on
Sash.
Sash says this. Yes, Sash says, "What's up, lads? Always great seeing Sash all the way from Switzerland. My man, great seeing you, Sash. Welcome back. Great seeing you on the terrible board." Also, Corey, don't drink that. Says Google is a powerful machine. Anyone could come up with Kaboli's information. RB needs to show him how it's done, son. Hey, that's right. RB is the man. Steel Loyal said Steeler Nation worldwide. That's right, baby. All the way from Japan to Switzerland to Ireland to South America to Canada, everywhere, man. Welcome to the terrible board. It's all about the Steelers, yeah, baby. Welcome. Ginger Joe says this. Who wouldn't want Sexy Dexy? But he's going to be expensive and would kill our cap. Not only that, how do you sign Rodgers or the rookies you drafted afterwards? Good point.
Steel Loyal. Figure it out.
Go ahead. What'd you say?
I said Omar
Derpy, come on. What are you doing? All right, one more time, and then I'm gonna go to the next message. Go ahead.
Omar Khan and his team will figure it out.
All right, I like that. Here we go. Let's go to Steel Loyal. He said the Browns are hosting Oregon's tight end Kenyon Sadiq, potentially the first tight end off the board on a top 30 visit today, source said. Tyrone says facts, Ryan. Pittman for 6 as a fleece and Dean for $12 million. Rico better and cheaper than Gainwell was Was Day a good sign? Samuel, you like what we've done? So I got to be honest. I love what we've done in this offseason. And again, there's a reason that people are giving us the credit and our team the credit and saying that we won the offseason so far. Again, what does that mean? We don't know. We're not going to know what the winning of offseason is until halfway through the season when we see what those players do. But Mike, I got to be honest with you. This is exciting, and this is something we've been missing for a long time in Pittsburgh. You'd see the big names, they'd go to Dallas. You'd see the big names, they would move, they would go here, they would go there. But you never had it here. So this is a lot of fun and on multiple layers, I think, for Steeler fans.
It is too, and like the moves have been smart moves too. The contracts handed out, or the money is not gonna ruin the team. It's not gonna put us in salary cap hell. I Just smart moves all the time. So if a move is bad, we're able to move on from a player if it doesn't work out to where it's not hindering the team in the future. I like it, man. Like I said, the owner wants to compete, so we're never going to have that full teardown that like a lot of us would like to see to stockpile a shit ton of picks and make all these fancy moves. But we're doing what we can, and it's working. We're chugging along, but hopefully, new coaches, man, we shoot off into the stratosphere.
Mike, this is a comment by Derek Harmon after the start of the workouts. Mike, this was said by Harmon, of course, the rookie last year, first round pick. He says, didn't expect so many veterans, end quote, is what he said about the show up, the attendance for the workouts yesterday. He says, I didn't expect so many veterans. He says, but we are excited. He says, we're excited about the Steelers' commitment to the at the start of the offseason program, is what he said. I'm sorry if I fucked that up. Excited about the Steelers' commitment at the start of the offseason program. He used the word we, which is, it's not just Derek Harmon. It means, again, Mike, as we were saying earlier in the week, it just feels different up there.
Yeah.
I'm not saying anything about anybody or anything in the past. I'm just saying right now what we have going for us, this has to be encouraging because it's just, things are working. It's going smooth. Again, I don't want to play comparisons. At the end of the day, everybody is happy. The organization seems happy within. Players are coming out saying that the Steelers are excited. They're excited about the commitment at the start of the off-season programs. So yes, you hear these nice things every year. You hear things are going well, but again, between last year and this year, and going between those two, the coaching changes, and just basically the change of the way things are done overall. I mean, you got a new boss in the building, the job. So again, they seem very optimistic. There's not a lot of things that I'm hearing coming from this. Of course, everybody wants to know the Aaron Rodgers news, but at the end of the day, you take that out, everything is looking good. And if you're a Steeler fan, this is how you want to see the offseason play out. We talked about hitting that home run in the offseason. We talked about hitting that home run in the draft, and you are seeing us hit those home runs when we need to hit them. So, again, 2 weeks from tomorrow, Mike, it's going to play a big part. Whatever it is, whether we go out and get Cooper Jr., whether we get the guard, whatever happens, it's going to play a part in looking at the whole of how this offseason has gone and is going. And at the end of the day, as happy as I am with Omar and the job he's been able to do, I'm happy so far with how my Steelers looked on April 8th. We're halfway there to the preseason. So I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm ready for some football. I want to see the guys play, but to know they're in town, they're working, everybody's optimistic, everybody's feeling good about the way things are. Everybody's working with their new boss, learning the new systems, things are feeling good, Mike. I mean, we're far from hoisting the Vince Lombardi trophy at this point because it is only April 8th. But at the end of the day, if you were a Steeler fan, you have to like the way things are trending.
And just that new breath of fresh air. We saw it with the Pirates when they fired the manager halfway through the season last year. We saw it with the Penguins this year. Now we're starting to see it with the Steelers, man. Just that new outlook reinvigorates people. And especially as someone who has a track record of winning. You're not going from a coach who, we know Tolman's resume. You're not going to some complete unknown.
Right.
You're going back in like, hey, we're trained. It's still on the tracks. And this guy has been there, done that. So we're going to trust him and go forward through it. If it would have been someone who came in who had a track record that was kind of spotty, I don't know if we would feel this level of excitement.
I agree.
And it's nice to hear that too from the defensive players too, because they went from a defensive head coach down to an offensive head coach. So they're excited
That
as
I'm
well too.
excited about too.
That's a nice thing. So it's not just one side of the ball
And
that's
I just
really
got to
excited to
say,
get there and
Mike,
work with the coaches.
listen, I don't hate having the defensive coach. I mean, that's what we had all of our life, but I think
Yeah.
that's why I'm happy and excited about the offensive coach, because we never had the offensive minded coach between Noel Cowher and Tomlin. I mean, these are all defensive minded
Yeah.
guys. Say what you want about the results, but at the end of the day, that's another thing that's exciting. Let's see what an offensive minded coach can do, especially in a league that's become primarily offensive. You know what I mean? It isn't
Yeah.
the big days of the 70s or the Steelers, the Steel Curtain, the Purple People Eaters, all these defense. Mike, you have to have an offense to be able to win in this league. And, look at your Kansas Cities that won the Super Bowl and Philadelphia. You have to have an offense. And I like that little bit of a change, because mostly because we've always had a defensive minded coach. And I like that because that's what Pittsburgh is prides themselves on. But you know what? It's making me giddy to know that we have an offensive coach and things could get better for us offensively. Obviously, you have a franchise quarterback, things work for you. But we haven't had that situation. We're trying to get it all back together, Mike. So the offensive coordinator, the offensive mind, I'm really, really looking forward to seeing how this plays out.
Yeah, me too, man. I'm just looking forward to see all of it, and it's just nice. Everyone showed up. Everyone's ready to go. No one's not buying in
Right.
to the new program, and it's nice to see like Derek said, the veterans there, and because that's going to feed down to the new guys, to the younger guys. Like, okay, hey, they bought in. They're the leaders, so we buy in too. There should be no excuses. And like McCarthy said, it's a clean slate for everyone. So no one should go in assuming what their role is going to be. Just go in and do your job and earn your spot.
Let me ask you this, Mike. Between was it 10 coaches? 10 coaches were changed out this year. 10 teams got new head coaches. In other words, is Mike McCarthy have is he one of the coaches that has more pressure on him than the other 9 at the end of the day? I mean, he's expected to come in and continue to stay competitive.
Yeah.
He's expected to come in and keep the ball rolling and hit the ground running. Do you feel that the most pressure, because again, Harbaugh, that's a big move, but does he really have the pressure that Mike McCarthy is up against this year? And a lot of these younger coaches, I don't think so. I think that the most pressure might be on him because the most is expected from the team that he coaches now.
I think so too. I think McCarthy should be the one that has the highest expectations placed upon him, just because where we were last year. Him and whoever is the new head coach down in Baltimore, those two should have the most pressure on them. Because McCarthy, you got to at least maintain the status quo. You can't take a step back. You got to keep moving this train forward. That's the thing. Keep it right here, but show growth, or take us to that next level. In Baltimore too, they got to rebound. So yeah, I think McCarthy's either 1 or 2 in the pressure situation, which I want my coach to feel that pressure.
Absolutely.
I want them to feel like, hey, let's get it going here. Let's move on. But he also knows too that if something does happen, he's not going to be fired immediately. Rudy's going to give him time. But there is pressure because the team's been building in the right direction. But if he slips a little bit, dips down a little bit, okay. But did the team improve? Did players get better? What did it take a while for your scheme to adjust? And we were getting really hot at the end of the year. Cool, carry that forward. Shit like that. It's gonna be a lot of nuance as we evaluate him going forward throughout the season. But yeah, I think he's under pressure, but also has more grace from the owner than any of the other new hires.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's just, and again, who he is, the age, what he's expected to do. He's had a successful career, for the most part. And I think the pressure is on. I don't know so much, as you said, from the team. I don't think he has any worries about losing his job within the first couple of years of his contract. So I think that's going to be fine. But I think overall, Mike, I think just from the fan standpoint, I think that people are expecting this team to at least be good enough. Again, everybody wants to move forward. Everybody wants to get better. Everybody wants to end up hoisting that Lombardi in February. But at the end of the day, Mike, I do think that everything outside, national media, they'll jump on them if things aren't going well. Local media is going to jump on them if things start not going well. So again, I think there's going to be a lot of pressure to win. I think with everybody except for the people that truly matter at the end of the day, the people that hire you, fire you, and pay your bills. So so I agree, Mike. I think that I think the pressure's on, and as you said, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
I like that. I like, because again, I don't want to have any debates, but when the pressure wasn't on for so many years, you kind of seen things how
Yeah.
they got stale over time, and I think that's human nature. It's me. I mean, I've been in jobs that I've worked at for a long time, and I just didn't do as good as I used to because you know what? It's stale and
What are you gonna do? Fire me?
right, exactly. I mean, we've
Yeah.
been there.
Yeah, but he's also, like I said, he's going to have a grace period too, to where
Absolutely.
Rooney's not, and he knows that he's going to be allowed to make mistakes. So he's not going to be. There's going to be pressure, but he's not going to fail on decisions here and there throughout the season.
Let's get back on the board, guys. It's moving along pretty good, and I don't want to get too far behind. I'm going to go right here to Yinzer Joe. Mike Yinzer Joe, he says this: Dex is just trying to get the Giants to pay him. I really don't think he wants traded, just a tactic to get paid. Very good possibility, which is very common, of course. Mark Bully says this: Mike, mother like son. Your mom likes to smack my ass as she serves me breakfast after my morning shit. I like this. The Bully's making a lot of sense today. He doesn't follow that up right here. Tyrone says, loyal, we did say that Skylar Bell at 76, 100, we'll be calling shit, I swear. Steel Loyal says, yep, we know our shit, LOL. John, Big John Stud, middle name Mud in the house. What's up, brother? Always great seeing John, the OG for show on the show. He says, this just got on. First con is ranked 18th. Second, Rooney hiring Mike McCarthy told me he didn't change. My point is no player will be taken without his approval, like most owners. Tyrone says, I just want two good wide receivers in this draft. And I think you're going to get that. I think you're going to get two good wide receivers, not two of the top end, maybe one good top end and somebody in that, the third round, probably. I don't know. Well, they have 3 picks in the third, did you say, Mike?
Yeah, 3 third-round picks.
So I think in those first 100 picks, you might get that second wide receiver. It just might be on the back end, perhaps, of those 5. And then all those other things that you need to worry about. We're going to start getting those after and trading. And who knows what's going to happen, guys. With 12 picks, there's certainly going to be activity. So many activities, Mike. There's going to be so many activities. And speaking of the activities, if you are coming to town or you were here from here in the Berg, there are all kind of activities planned, Mike. I just pulled this up this morning. The Steelers have announced they will have a football theme park for the NFL draft called the Steeler Country. That's going to be the name. It's a 12,000 square foot interactive space in Point State Park, which will include a Steeler Nation Unite bar, an immersive fan cave. Also, the 6 Super Bowl rings will be on display over at Point State Park. There will be an entertainment stage and also, Mike, a Terrible Towel art piece, amongst other things, guys. So if you are coming to town or you are right here in Pittsburgh and you're going to brave it into the storm in 2 weeks, that is some events, Mike, some extra events to look forward to down at the draft. And listen, I don't want to go on and on about it. I just know there's going to be a lot of people. And you say like all this stuff is going to be available, but what kind of opportunity are you really going to get with 800,000 people
right
to do these? What is it? The immersive fan cave. I just, can you imagine 800,000 people, Mike?
It's going to be, I'm imagining downtown and you get to this thing. You're like, oh man, this is going to be so cool to see. And there's going to be like 4,000 people behind you trying to.
That's what I'm saying.
Push you along to get you through this because they all want to see it too. So you're just going to be rushed through all these exhibits.
Right.
But hopefully it's not like that. Hopefully it's a great experience for everyone. But in my mind, that's how it's going to go.
And I make the comparison. If you go down to Burgestown, you go down to the pavilion to watch a concert, and you look up behind you at the grass, and the place is filled with 26,000 people. That's a lot of people you're looking at. That is just a small fraction of what it is that they're expecting for the draft. It's crazy. I know they're not going to all be there at the same exact time. It's going to go through the 3 days. However, just think of getting into the line to go to the bathroom at a concert where there's only 26,000 people and you have to stand in a line that's mile long. I'm just saying, prepare yourself if you are planning to attend the NFL draft. it's going to be neat to be able to say that
Yeah.
you've been there, done that, you went to the draft, but it's going to be a lot of headaches. I'm just saying, guys, I'm not telling anybody not to go. Matter of fact, I'm recommending go enjoy yourself. This is a once in a lifetime thing. Possibly it might happen again, but like 800,000 people again. Just put yourself down at the pavilion.
Yeah.
And there's 26,000 people. And how long it takes you to get one beer and go to the go to the bathroom?
And
Just saying.
There's people who will be pissing themselves.
Absolutely.
Pissing themselves.
Man, let's get back to it. Steel Loyal says Con ranked 18th is laughable. Steeler Freak says I'm not laughing. I listen. I like him. I do like Omar. As a matter of fact, I like him because he's not afraid to pull the trigger. You know that. I like that. Steel Loyal also says whoever made those rankings needs to be fired. Let's go to Yinzer Joe. He says Con hasn't hit on a quarterback, and he traded away Pickens, which wasn't a good thing to do if he didn't have his replacement. And don't get me wrong, he's not perfect. And that's the thing. I never, I'm just saying the things that I do like about him, some of the qualities, some things that he's been able to pull, with the Chase Claypool, just everything. But at the end of the day, you're right. I mean, he is not perfect. We didn't get that QB1 yet, but if that's the plan, maybe we're still waiting and we're working on that. If we get our guy next year and he is our franchise quarterback, we'll be talking different then. But Pickens is debatable. Absolutely. Tortilla says, yeah, JPJ is the GOAT. Also, John says this, Steeler Freak says most didn't want McCarthy. Rooney made the safe, low-risk 10-7 pick. Also, Ty agreed. Tortilla, I'm glad you're on the right team now. Steel Loyal says this, Omar Khan has never drafted a quarterback in the first round for us, so I don't know what you mean, Yinzer Joe. Good point. Steel Loyal says Omar can't hit on a quarterback if AR2 won't let him draft. And that's what I'm saying. We're going to have to wait that part out of it, Joe. I mean, the Pickens, totally debatable, good conversation. But I just don't know if the opportunity has been there yet to get that guy. It's a tough thing to do. You can't just do it overnight. Otherwise, if you could, 32 teams would have that guy. They just don't exist. Tyrone says, I love GP, but he wasn't the team player. And that's another thing that you could say. You know what I mean? The GP situation, it's debatable. I mean, there are good arguments on both sides, and they're both good. Whether you agree, disagree, you got to agree that they're good arguments. He says this, he goes, and I do agree we didn't replace him, but we got Pittman now. Okay, I see what you're saying. We got Pittman now. With my problem with Omar is bad contracts and no wide receiver 2. He fixed that part. He's doing fine. And the no wide receiver 2 for 2 seasons, of course, is a blemish. No two ways about that. That's one of my biggest beefs. One year's a fuck up. If you have to go through 2 whole seasons without a wide receiver 2, and the thing is, okay, they brought in people. They brought in a Thielen. They bring in MVS. They bring in Mike Williams the year before that. And I don't know. I forget where I was even going with that. That's my problem. I start reading other messages as I'm talking, and
you were going off on something, then you totally forgot where you were.
Yeah. So I don't know if that makes sense. Oh, that's what I was going to. Wide receiver 2. It is a big problem, and they went out and got some other guys, but that's obviously not the point. The point would be going out and get somebody that's worth it. And the fact that you went through 2 whole entire seasons, 2 off seasons, and didn't address the problem, that's certainly a blemish as well. Let's go to Ty. Ty said this, hate to say it, but Tallman held Omar back a little bit by signing these old ass vets. John says great car build with no driver. Great car build with no driver. Tortilla. He says, BS. I saw Omar hitting on Will Howard yesterday.
That's a good one.
And we don't know that Will Howard's not the guy, too. I mean, we don't know. Aaron certainly hasn't. I'm not going to say didn't give him the opportunity, but Aaron Rodgers has been here. Corey says this, I don't drink that. Would you think it's a good idea to trade Muth? If Rodgers comes back to draft a tight end wide receiver hybrid player in the first year, we should, but with Muth being in the Rodgers doghouse, it's a waste of talent for us. And that's another thing that you have to ask yourself. Is it going to be different? Is it going to be different under McCarthy? The whole Freiermuth situation with Aaron Rodgers, we don't know. But here's the thing about that. Darnell Washington is a beast, right? But he already broke his forearm. He already had a concussion. I'm just saying, maybe this guy, and I love him. He's freakish. But at the end of the day, again, last year he had a concussion, missed time. Later on down the road, he he broke his forearm. So let's just say that that trend continues, and something happens where he's not going to be available, and we don't have wide receiver 3. I mean, Galbraith, I guess, right now is our wide receiver or tight end 3. Then what do you do? You know what I mean? Unless, like you said, you go out and get that player in the draft, but how much value is that to us that we would actually get somebody that's worth having? I mean, we already have a Galbraith. You know what I mean? If you wait too long in the draft, you're going to get another Galbraith. So again, at the end of the day, I don't know. I'm not ready to give up on Muth. I don't think there's any reason to give up on Muth. And if it's because Aaron isn't throwing it to him, I think maybe we wait this out and to see how the Mike McCarthy effect plays on the tight end position. Mike.
Yeah, especially when you just re-upped Frymuth after or before. No, before the season last year, he's still signed through 2029. If Aaron Rodgers comes back, he's only here for 1 year. I'm not sacrificing Pat Frymuth for one more year of Aaron Rodgers. That's something him being Rodgers, Frymuth, and McCarthy need to sit down and figure the fuck out. Now, if the Steelers want to say go and draft Kenyon Sneak in the first round, he's not going to be a tight end. He's going to be a big-bodied wide receiver in this offense. So that would make sense there, but you draft him, you don't trade Frymuth. He's just going to be a wide receiver in this offense in the mold of a DK Metcalf, Michael Pittman Jr. He fits that size build of those two guys, and that's the kind of size that McCarthy likes in his receivers, a guy who can play all 3 spots. He fits the height, weight, and speed requirements of that mold, and he likes guys with big catch radiuses. So, and you just add him into the mix of that receiver core, and you still have Frymuth and you still have Mount Washington. It's that's to me would be like a non-starter. You wouldn't trade Frymuth. You would just add this guy in and plop him into the wide receiver room.
Tyrone says no Muth will cook this year. Smith was terrible OC and wanted to. I mean, that's another thing you got to consider too. I mean, we're going to take a look at different coordinators as well. And Jonnu Smith was ahead of, he just got placed ahead of him in the depth chart. And so, again, we'll see. Let's scoot up a little bit here to Yinzer Joe. No, Tyrone. Okay, yeah, Yinzer Joe. I'm sorry. At Steel Loyal was referring to Con exactly drafting a quarterback in the first round. I was saying just in general, anyway, he could bring one to us. And again, right here, guys, Joe, I don't even know if there is a quarterback worth a first round pick. In this year's draft, and certainly in the past, and you could see them kind of positioning themselves amongst other teams, knowing that 2027 draft is going to have a bunch of quarterbacks. Going into this, Mike, we did believe that it was going to be the quarterback position that we're going to be looking at. But again, Fernando Mendoza is the best possible quarterback. And Mike, a lot of people aren't even expecting him to be this great quarterback. Mike, and it was also announced yesterday, he informed the NFL that he is not planning to attend the NFL draft. See, I don't like this. And I know you don't care. But my point is this. This is the biggest moment of your life. You were a football player getting ready to be drafted number 1 overall in the NFL, the highest level of what it is that you do. What could possibly be so important that you can't bring yourself to this event to where, again, say you get drafted 264. Okay, who cares? Number 1 overall. The show is going to be about you for the first hour of the broadcast. I just don't like this. Get your ass out there. What could be so important that Fernando Mendoza isn't going to show up to the draft for the biggest event in his life? I don't like this kind of stuff, Mike.
From what I read, I think his mother's sick, not doing well. So I think that was the reason why. That was one of the reports that I saw. He wants to, be at home with his family, with his mom, and I don't think she can make it. So he wanted to stay there with the family.
Yeah, boo.
I don't know if that's 100% accurate, but I saw some people banking that around online.
I'm not trying to be insensitive, but at the end of the day, I think mom will understand if you leave for 3 hours.
Yeah.
To go to the NFL draft to get picked number 1 overall, and you're going to start making mad money. It just, to me, it's crazy. And I know.
It's like if she was
gonna get on a plane, take the flight for 2 fucking hours, go to the event, get on a plane, go home. Your mom's gonna be fine.
Exactly. Yeah. I was gonna say get in, get out, but you should take a helicopter. We'll find a way to get you there, brother. Rappel down in, make a spectacle out of it, brother. You're going to be
if he was unsure, and he wasn't pretty much guaranteed getting that number one, he'd be there. I kind of anxious, kind of, what am I going to do? Am I going to be picked? Like the fact that he's kind of already got the green light, that it kind of bums me out because, at the end of the day, you're kind of what people were there to. It's like, a lot of people were there to see that number one pick, the number one pick in the NFL draft. I mean, that's just me. But anyway, and the way, bro, you got enough money now. Your new contract is going to allow you to get on a plane, fly somewhere 2 hours.
Yeah, I'm sure you can take a loan out.
I think you're going to be fine. Brother. Right. I'm just saying. Let's get back on the board. We still have a lot of things to get into today, guys. Welcome to the show, episode 943 of the Two Dum Yinzers. Let's get back at it right here to Rogers. Let's see where we at here. Working our way up. Here we go. Okay, John says Rooney, Tomlin, and Kahn all shared the blame, but the buck stops with Art. He is the variable that must change for real change. Jamal says, man, Mood is trash. Also, John follows his comment up with saying Rodgers was the OC last year, and he will be again if he returns. And I agree for the most part. I think more so last year than this year. I think that the new offensive coordinator is not want to be involved to a degree. And let's say that there was even a head bumping between Aaron Rodgers and the offensive coordinator. You do have Mike McCarthy, who is, again, a lifelong friend, basically, of Aaron. I think they're going to make it work.
Well, and McCarthy's he is the de facto offensive coordinator. He is going to run it.
I'm saying.
And then
he's calling it.
Art Bellagio is there to, do the little things that McCarthy doesn't have time to do.
He's made that point, Mike. He said, I'm going to call the offense. So, again, that's a good point. And also, John, I do think to a degree, and I think to a degree, Mike McCarthy will let him be a bit of an offensive coordinator. But it's interesting, again, Mike, that you reminded me that Coach McCarthy is going to be calling the plays. So it's going to be interesting.
And I'm sorry, any good team's going to tailor their offense to what their quarterback wants. My guys out there, we're going to make it work. What makes you comfortable out there? I want that give and take with my quarterback and my offense coordinator and head coach. These are the weapons I have. Okay, how can we make them work into what we're trying to do? What plays are you comfortable with? What formations? And let's get it rocking and rolling. I don't know why that's a foreign concept to some people.
Let's go right here. Tyrone says, Ginger Joe, I'm glad he didn't. 2027, the big year. It's almost hard to miss. As from what I'm hearing, it's going to be hard to miss next year, but we will see. Jamal says we're going to see if Mute has what it takes. I think Mute has plenty of what it takes. Matter of fact, it wasn't any of his fault in anything that happened. It was never an injury that set him back. It was never lack of performance. And people's always going to say, well, he dropped that pass down the right sideline, which is crazy because, one play can't define your career. Very, very consistent. Catches the ball almost every time thrown to him. And also, he, again, under the first 3 years, Mike, he had more catches as a tight end than any Steeler tight end ever in the history of the team. So, again, I think he'll be fine if he's used correctly. The fact that they put Jonnu Smith in front of him, who literally did less than Pat Freiermuth did. I would have expected Jonnu to be more athletic than he was. Didn't play out. So everything was just kind of jacked up last year. I hope things get fixed just in some of those common sense areas. I think Muth is going to be fine. And I think that he would also be a nice piece if you are going to move people around, trying to figure out a trade. I think he could bring some value to that as well. Let's go to Steel Loyal. He says this. I've been saying Dan Rooney. I've been saying give Dan Rooney the keys already at John at Steeler Freak. Tyrone says, why will LOL give 88 the ball up the seams more? And that's the thing, too. It could open up things for the tight end with better wide receiver play. And you might, in theory, you're going to have that because you have better wide receivers, hopefully at least. Jamal says, shaking my head. How about not and say we did? I don't know. I'm not real sure what the beef is. Again, as far as tight ends go, he's just as good. Listen, he's not Travis Kelce. I admit that. But until you find him, I guess you go with what you're comfortable with. Let's go right here to Ty. Ty says, I love his this offense so far. Wait till we get 2 more receivers. Yinzer Joe, let's hear that word legendary again this season. I think we're going to get a big wake up without Tomlin. Just have a feeling. Let's go to Jamal. He says trade mood drafts Saquon first round. Ty says hell no. Steel Oil says who's Saquon? Who's Saquon?
The tight end from Oregon, Sadiq.
Okay.
Kenyon Sadiq.
Vegas says, I'm sorry, Ty says this Vega or Cooper Jr. That is who he's looking at. And again, I don't think you're going to go high for a tight end with all the needs that we have as well. And like, I get what you're saying. You want to upgrade the positions, which is a good thing, but I just don't know where that would fit.
I just feel like if they would draft Sadiq, he would be announced as like wide receiver.
And also, that's you're going to be taking that pick away from something that we need at this point, which we need offensive line, we need a receiver. You know what I mean?
But if you make him a receiver because you think he's not going to be a tight end,
who's going to be your tight end then?
You would have Muth. You don't trade Muth. You draft Sadiq.
Oh, well, that's not what he's saying. He's saying,
oh, my bad. I'll get rid of Muth and get Sadiq. Yeah. That's creating a hole, filling a hole, and like you're saying, okay, my bad. I misunderstood. I misheard. I apologize.
Jabal send him back to the Giants for Big Daddy. Now, I would do that. I don't know if they would do that, but I would send Pat Freiermuth to the Giants in a second for Sexy Dexy. Tyrone says this. He says Benton in a second for Dexter. Steeler Freak John, my man, he says this. Loyal, I know folks think I'm all negative. Now, you're realistic. I listen, you're all good. He says, I am realistic. I am too old for fantasy because BS discussions. I don't enjoy writing about art, but it is so. No, John, you're fine, bro. The spectrum is wide. Steel Lawyer says, I agree with you wholeheartedly, John. I want art gone as well. John says this. I'm a 62-year-old and mad at the team that hired a 62-year-old guy. New young blood from owner to ball boys needed. You know what? It's debatable for sure. Somber, what's up, dude? Always great seeing Somber on the terrible board. Somber says, temper your expectations. Steel Loyal says, LOL. Understandable to John. Georgian says, Ryan, great words. We got stale. And it did. And I'm going to be happy to get past that. I'm going to be happy for not to feel stale. Every week's going to bring something a little new for us. And that's exciting. We're going to see, we're going to learn about this staff and how they adapt and how they respond and how they make changes and how they go on the run and do things on the run. And a lot of times you could say, okay, well, Tom, he's going to do this. He was going to do that. And that's not, I'm not saying that they were bad. I'm just saying it's going to be exciting to learn the new ways of the new coach. And again, Mike, being an offensive coach, I think it's going to be interesting because, again, we've always kind of just been deemed as defensive team, which is great. I love that. But at the end of the day, I think it's going to be fun learning and seeing what the new coaching staff does in this situation where Tomlin may have did this. Okay, so we're going to start doing this now. Learning, it's going to be a lot of fun, guys. I really do. And it did get stale. And whatever you want to do with that, do with that. But I'm not bad-mouthing anybody. I'm just saying it felt stale. I'm ready to see something that's not stale, something a little new, something a little flavor, something a little energy. I am ready for all of it, guys. And listen, if this guy doesn't work in 5 years, get rid of him and bring somebody else in that we think that could do it. But this is where we be right now, and I'm excited about it because this is the next step. And we got the draft coming in 15 days, 2 weeks and 1 day, 2 weeks from tomorrow. So we'll see how this group of men handles this and how the GM and the coach and the owners and they're going to all get together and think of what they feel is the best route for this team moving forward. And we're going to see if it plays out. So that's the next step. I understand everything isn't perfect. And believe me, I have my complaints too. I do. I have complaints about the team, but at the end of the day, this is where we are. We kind of know we have, and we kind of know we don't have. And this draft is the next big step. And matter of fact, it might be the biggest step overall, just as for Steeler fans, because again, it's just such a big event, Mike. Of course, it hasn't been in Pittsburgh since the 40s, which it certainly wasn't even the same event. So again, let's enjoy this next couple of weeks at least. And then they're going to be doing rookie camps and all kind of voluntary stuff. And it's going to be fun, guys. Let's hang in there, see what they could do. I'm sure we'll find things to bitch about and not be content about during the season. I mean, that's the nature of it, but it's just where we are now. And I'm looking forward to it not being stale. And that's something I am excited about.
Yeah, me too. As something new, a new philosophy in here. So
Right.
it's going to be fun, man.
Absolutely. And if we get a little success out of it, man, come on, it could be a blast. And we'll see what the hell we can do next year with the quarterback. So it's just it's a step that you have to get through to get to where you're trying to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So again, let's just try to enjoy it the best that we can and see how they do. Again, if they don't do good, we're gonna get rid of him. If it gets stale under him, let's get rid of his ass. I'm not married to Mike McCarthy. I just know that he's my coach now, and this is what we got, and let's do what we can do. Ty says this. I see why he's saying Steeler freak. Let's see with McCarthy. That's exactly where I'm coming from. Let's see what that's all we can do. That's all we can do at this point. Yinzer Joe says, I think we're damned if we do, we're damned if we don't sign Rodgers. I see the outcome of the season the same or worse. Tortilla says Capoli's mom just went on sale at Home Depot. Capoli's mom just went on sale at Home Depot. Ty says this is a great wide receiver class, so it's kind of playing out nice for us. Let's get our wide receivers taken care of, put this team together, give the offensive line another year of to build cohesiveness together. You know, just another year playing together. See what we can do with that left side line. Add the wide receivers that we've been lacking. Let them play a football season, and then next year you get your rookie, and then you figure out what the hell you're going to do. Like Will Howard and the rookie compete, whatever the case may be. So again, it's kind of working in our favor. We will see. Let's go to Tortilla. He says this is why I say Mac Caboli and cheese in his podcast every day. That's funny. Still Loyal says I just ate some mac and cheese. LOL. Still Loyal follows it up by saying I'm going to attend the draft for my recliner. I'm hearing a lot of people say that they're starting to change their minds.
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to be something. It's going to be something. I talked about 3 people this week. I think they said that they're not going now. They're just not going.
Yeah. Same here. I talked to some people at work. They're like, yeah, I'm going to go and swing, get back in town for work. And they're like, no, F that.
Yeah. Let's go right here to John. John says this, Steeler freak Joe, any quarterback this year will give mere degrees of success with the usual 10-7 team that allows the media to use the word competitive with no meaning. Steel Loyal says, yeah, I believe we go 10-7. I think we go 10 I think we go at least 10-7 with Aaron Rodgers, but I don't know. It's going to be hard to say with Will Howard. We just don't know. The thing is, we haven't seen him take one single snap. I mean, he could come out and be a disaster. We just don't know. You'd like to think that he wouldn't. And, he won a national championship, and you'd like to think that, but at the end of the day, we haven't seen him play. I give us less wins, maybe by 2 games. Aaron Rodgers gets at least 10-7. And I'm not saying that's, it could be upward. It could be more. And I think Will Howard will be a little bit behind that just because there's stuff between Aaron's ears that he brings that, Will certainly doesn't have at this point in his career. Let's go right here to Yinzer Joe. Yinzer Joe says, well, apparently they were competitive last year. They sure were. They sure were. They were expected to be in last place down there with the Browns. And, as competitive as we were, we almost lost to a pretty bad Ravens team if the guy didn't miss a field goal in the last play of the game. So, again, point taken.
But division games, you kind of throw records out the window on that one because you know each other so well.
Yeah. D-Roy could QB and the fuckers would still pull 10-7 or just to give me a stroke. Yeah, that's about it too. Let's go Steel Loyal. Bigger they are, harder they fall. And that's, kind of a concern with me with Washington. I mean, those are 2 pretty big injuries. You get yourself into some concussion issues and then you get tackled and break your forearm. I mean, it's not every play somebody's breaking a forearm. Those are 2 pretty big injuries, in my opinion. So we'll keep an eye on that. I love him. He's a beast. I seen it take him 17 guys to pull him down in the Miami Dolphin game. I just seen this highlight the other day. I just hope he can stay healthy. I hope that's not an issue with him. Ty says I like the chances better this year with A-Rod coming back. Fix the left side of the offensive line. 2 more wide receivers, nose tackle, linebacker, safety, and I do too. I mean, obviously coming in knowing the team, knowing the players around him, knowing the guys, I feel more confident with Aaron this year. That's why I do think that we can move upwards more, go over the 10 wins. If things play out again, getting those weapons, fix that line. We'll see. We will see. Ty says this. He follows it up by saying, pay Darnell. He won't be expensive. I don't think I want 80. John says this. I want a gunslinger who can open up the fucking offense. Somebody to just sit back there, see something, identify, get the ball out. Why is it so hard to be a quarterback anymore? I mean, these are professional quarterbacks. Why is the talent just so good on the defensive side of the ball? Because again, you only give about, and we always say this, Mike, only about five top tier quarterbacks at any given time. What's
it's always been like that. These I don't know what it is, and it's getting worse too because these colleges, man, they're just running these guys in to run their system, milk them for all they can, then move on without caring how they develop for the next level. And even when coaches were trying to develop guys for the next level, there was still only a handful of the elites, and still that handful of like, oh my god, how is this guy a starter in the NFL? So it's gotten a little bit better, but not a whole hell of a lot better. It's just quarterback, man. It's a one of the hardest position in sports for some reason, man. You can't find them all, or can't find a lot of good ones. And when you do, you got to hold on to them.
To finish John's comment, he says this, but maybe his AI wife can do it. Steel Oil says his mom has MS, I'm pretty sure. Steel Oil says he's staying home with his mom. I mean, I know people that have MS. They can't stay at their house they can't stay at home for 5 hours. I don't know. I'm just saying. Maybe I am being insensitive, but at the end of the day, you only get this opportunity once in your life. I'm sure mom will be okay if he goes away for the fucking day, right?
You would think.
I don't know. Maybe I'm a dick. Ty says this need all O-line protection to protect him this year, and weapons. We're on a good track. I agree. I mean, just think how far that's going to put us ahead of where we were last year. I mean, he didn't have weapons, and then when DK, was out at the end of the year and we needed him most, we were literally playing with Adam Thielen, the guy who got there a week prior, MVS, who's slightly more talented than Juan Valdez, and Scotty Miller. Hey, come on. No wonder we had. When we managed to win games, so I don't know. We'll see. Give them some more weapons. Go right here. I heard they're going to shut the highway down from Ohio to Pennsylvania before the draft. I know that they're doing a lot. Cody, and I do want to say what's up to you, brother. Always great seeing Cody. There's going to be a lot going down at this draft that they're going to be changing and shutting down and opening and closing, and it's going to be something, guys. Again, if you're coming to town, give yourself ample time to get down here and settle in. I'm just going to say that. Let's do scoot up here to Steeler Freak John. He says the 83-75, they can fix father time. Rodgers plays the way he does now instinctively. He isn't going to hold on to the ball longer than 2.5 seconds, even with 10 Hall of Famers around him. Tortilla says not everyone is Derek Harmon. I don't think he went either, but still. Not everyone is Derek Harmon. I don't think he went either still. Let's scoot up here. Ty says maybe so. We'll see. Steeler Freak says my question is Rodgers, is he giving up on Muth? And and I want to know why. If he did, I mean, you seen him give up on Roman. You seen the team give up on Roman Wilson. I want to know why. I want to know why Freiermuth went from being a good tight end to not having the ball thrown to him. What's the problem? And again, does that change under a new coach? Does it change under a coach that calls the offensive play? Does it change? And again, what is it, Mike? Why did Pat Freiermuth fall into this area? Why is he in this where he's at right now, Mike?
It could be a combination of a lot of things. I'm leaning towards Arthur Smith's infatuation with guys down the depth chart. Everywhere we've seen, he likes the guys that aren't like seen as the number one threat. He likes to game plan them into the offense to trick the other team of, we're going to do this so they don't think this. We're going to do this so they don't think that. And it didn't work. And like looking through Freiermuth's like the snap counts and all that. Like in week 13, he had a grand total of 17 snaps. But then the following week, he had a grand total of 31 offensive snaps. So his usage was weird at different points of the season. Week 18, he played 52 snaps. The week before that, he played like 46 snaps. So it fluctuated from game to game, but he should not have games where he's only playing 17 snaps. And that happened twice last year. It shouldn't happen. He should be out there the vast majority of of the offense, and I think that's going to be that Arthur Smith offense that let me use my sixth lineman as a tackle eligible to kick Frymuth out of there because he's not good at run blocking. It's so stupid.
How about getting to the point where you're doing the little things or the general things good? Whatever happened to that? Why did Arthur Smith? Here's the thing, he comes to town. He has one good season with the Tennessee Titans. And then he comes into town with this whole new philosophy. We're not going to run any wide receivers. We're going to run 15 tight ends. It's gonna be fine. He had a good year in Tennessee once. He had 7-10 records in a row in Atlanta after that. But and then he comes here and he changes everything. I want this guy. I want that guy. This guy was working, but we're not going to play him anymore. Yeah. We're going to bring in this guy who's not going to get anything done. So why not get the stuff done that needs to be done instead of pissing around? Let's make somebody think. Nobody thinks we're going to do one thing and does the other. The Pittsburgh Steelers became the most predictable team in the NFL, certainly if not one of the most predictable teams in the NFL. I think the Arthur Smith experiment was complete trash. Mike, there was nothing good that came from the Arthur Smith experience, in my opinion. Again, he's trying to recreate we weren't doing the little things, the normal things, right. Very predictable, Mike, very predictable. And he wants to play in his own mind. How are we going to trick people to think we're doing? Yeah. Nobody's going to think you're going to do anything. They're going to come up and tackle us behind the line the same way they do every time that we run this freaking play. I'm so glad the Arthur Smith experience is over. I don't necessarily feel bad for Ohio State because, again, it's going to be a different beast. It's a whole different thing but Mike, I am so happy the Arthur Smith era is over in Pittsburgh. It was not a good experience, in my opinion. And again, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it was a terrible experience here. And like you, I'm glad it's over. So, that just go back and look the way he uses players on other teams that were of like better skills compared to guys that you're like, why is this guy playing more snaps than the starter? Why are they out there in key situations?
Trash.
That's an Arthur Smith staple.
That's why, yeah.
I think we're going to see more Pat Frymuth because Arthur Smith is not here.
Jamal asks, is Dante Moore in the draft? Moore?
No, he went back to college.
He went back to college, dude. John says this. Oh, let me scoot. John says, great points. Hold on, it's moving on me like crazy. And it's continuing to move. What's going on? All right, right here, John Steeler Freak says this. Great point about Muth and Rogers, Mike. Also, Ty says next year, Jamal, about Dante Moore. Let's go right here. Mark Caboli says, I beg to differ some respectfully. Muth for a couple concussions and cracked ribs and shoulders concerned from the Kenny era ball era. I think it took its toll on his athleticism. But he's a white end at the end of the day. I mean, how much athleticism do we expect? I thought he played well for being a white end. Because, at the end of the day, the white end, they catch the ball, turn around, get tackled. It is what it is. So maybe he just kind of got brought back down to that level. I do want to jump up to this real quick and say to Tortilla Jackson, thank you so much for the super chat. He says signing Arthur Smith is like when you go to fart and you shit. The classic shart, Mike. The classic shart. That is Mike's famous move.
I have not shirted myself in decades.
Let's go right here to Don't Drink That. Corey says this. It probably won't be the worst thing to trade Muth for another tight end if Rodgers comes back. Having a quarterback with high expectations of you to start your career sets a standard. Ben was really laid back. But you know what? The expectations were high for Muth because, again, he was accomplishing things in his first couple of years. Again, past Heath Miller in his first 3 seasons for the amount of catches he made. The dude could catch. The dude could play ball. I just, again, maybe it is the injuries. Maybe this is where he fell off. Maybe he's not as good as he once was, but I personally don't see it. I didn't see him being included as much. If you would have seen him more, I think you would have got more results, where Johnny was the total opposite. The more you've seen him, the less results you've seen. So again, at the end of the day, was it the offense that was ran? Was it, I'm willing to give Muth another shot. I want to see him play again under a team that, for a team that's willing to play him and get the ball to him. I think that's where you'll see Corey, Don't Drink That, follows it up by saying, then he had KP. That was a joke. He wasn't ready for Aaron. Ty says, we are in the new era, baby. It's the new Steeler era. We don't know what to expect. We're hoping for the best. We think it's going to be good. We just want to be moving in the right direction. That's all I want. Listen, I want the Lombardi like everybody else. But the main thing I'm going to be looking at this year is a team overall to see if we're moving in the right direction. Where we sat stale, again, I used that term earlier in the show. I want to see us at least moving in the right direction, giving me hope moving forward. Where, again, the running in the place, it got old. Let's go, Cody. Cody says, nah, man. Steeler freak John. John says, Ben was the OC the last 5 years of his career, which I'm okay with. Sometimes, again, Arthur Smith or the Hall of Famer. I didn't necessarily hate some of the things Rodgers did last year in place of Arthur Smith. Let's go, to Jamal. Jamal says, okay, figured that. Chad, what's up, dude? Always great seeing Chad Schrader on the terrible board. Mikey says, what's up, Ryan and Mike? Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. That's right, man. Only 2 weeks and 1 day from the big NFL draft.
So close.
Grab a couple more messages here, Mike, and I do have some other things we're going to get into here. Cody says, Ben Roethlisberger was the biggest reason Tomlin looked good all those years. Tomlin's defense was cheeks since 2012, which was also the same year we got Cam. Jamal says, yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Big Mac. I'm more of a Whopper man. I like the Whopper too. I like the double Whopper. Put some onion rings on that bitch, some barbecue sauce too, like on top of everything else that's on there. Fire. Let's go to Ty. What's up, Cody? What's going on, brother? Man, always great seeing Cody in the house. Let's go right here, John. I'm not writing that the quarterback calling plays is a bad thing. Most vets take plays of the playbook a la carte. I believe Rodgers will continue the plays and sequencing in concert with Mike McCarthy, more than likely. But again, these two guys know how to work together. Again, 13 years, a championship won. I trust in that more than being with a coach that you never played for before. You know what I mean? I think that could be the difference. He came in last year, didn't know the team, didn't know the coach, didn't he didn't show up. He didn't play in preseason. He Aaron Rodgers all the way up to the beginning of the season. So again, this is a friend. This is somebody that he's in touch with every day. They worked together for 13 years. They accomplished a championship. So again, maybe that would be the reason that I could certainly give a little bit of leeway in that area. Let's go to Cody. What up, Tyrone? Is the GOAT. He is the GOAT. I do want to say what's up to Burley Kev. Burley Kev on the board. Burley asks this on the terrible board. What is a Yinzer? Is that someone from Pittsburgh? It is a term for somebody in Pittsburgh, and it's taken from the way we talk. It's actually vernacular for y'all. Yins is y'all. I don't know why we say it. I just always have. I guess it's just ingrained in our DNA. I don't know.
This is who we be.
Yins are going to the game, right?
He's getting downtown tonight.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like I don't even hear. Like I have to think about it when I do it. Yins are going to the game, right? Yins are going to grab Poppinette. That's saying y'all are going to grab soda and stuff. Yins are going to grab Poppinette. So again, yes, that to answer your question, it is somebody from Pittsburgh, and it is from the vernacular of Western PA. And you know what? It sounds kind of hillbilly, but you know what? We're right here in Eastern Ohio and West Virginia, so there's certainly things we say that have a hillbilly twang to it. We know it. Let's go up here to somewhere. All right here, Kabuli. Let's see what Kabuli has to say. Mike Kabuli says, tortilla, with a name like that, you should be talking about Home Depot. That's your mom's OG corner. I first seen her there 4 years ago and paid her 4 pesos for a Blumpkin.
For a Blumpkin? Oh, shit.
Kabuli, Tortilla's mom, and a Blumpkin in the Home Depot bathroom. I can see it now.
Oh.
Jamal, Cody sucks, LOL. John Steeler Freak says Rodgers is on the field and Mike McCarthy is, and I remember hearing about Ben designing plays in the dirt. He sure did. And I think Rodgers made some play in the dirt this year too, didn't he? That crazy pass down the sideline that was caught by KG.
Yeah. Told him to line out and just run right down the field.
Yeah, I like seeing guys that pull their hand out, like when we were playing football as a kid, and you pull your hand out and you start drawing. All right, you're right here, you're right here. I don't know. There's just something. Maybe it's the kid in me that likes that. But there you go. Let's do scoot on up here to Cody. Cody says this. So pretty much what you guys are saying is if we go 9-8 next year, y'all be happy. Fuck that, not me. We want to go 9-8. I'm gonna say this ain't my team. Listen. I don't know. We're gonna have to see how it plays out. There could be stories to what that that could have resulted in that 9-8. So we will see. But I don't know. I can't tell you if I'll be happy with 9-8 yet. I have to see what goes down.
Yeah.
Ty says, agree, Cody. I'd love 11 wins. Of course. Absolutely. We'd all love some more wins. John says, Mike McCarthy will have way more control with Howard than Rodgers. Howard will actually listen and not start shit when things go bad, like blaming and ignoring players. That is Rodgers. And I don't disagree with that. Tortilla says, if we went 3-14, you'd be happy, Cody. Cody's not happy with the 9 wins. He wants 3 wins, is what Tortilla is saying. John says 3-14 are the results from last year. Same for me. Cody says, I don't want to be 9-8. I'd be happier being 3-14 or 14-3. Let's go right here. And for me, like I said, what's going to make me happy? I want to see the team progressing. I want to see the team moving in the right direction. That's what I want to see. That's going to make me happy. If I see us get out of this stale muck and are able to start to put one foot in front of another foot again and having some sort of moving in the right direction, that's what's going to make me happy. I know that, chances are we're probably not going to win a Super Bowl. You don't know. We can. But, that's best case scenario, of course. I want to see that we move in the right direction. I'm just ready to get out of this quicksand. Tortilla says if we go 9-8, I'll grow a third nipple. Mike, you have an infamous third nipple. We don't tell people about that, but Mike actually has. It looks like one of those little cup pepperonis that are on top of the microwavable pizzas.
I showed you that one time and one time only.
Come on.
You said you would never bring it up.
It's shaped like a cup pepperoni. How can I not tell people?
This is why Fat Jesus does not share.
That's true. That is very true. He's against sharing, Fat Jesus, of course.
Yes. As opposed to my cousin, regular Jesus, he likes to share. I like to keep everything for myself.
Yeah, Mike, he turned one loaf into 1,000 and ate them all. He turned one fish into 500, ate them all.
Turned water into rum and Coke and drank it all.
Cody says we need some change. We were in a mediocre territory for the last 8 years. I couldn't agree more. And again, that's what I'm looking forward to. I need to see us get out of this rut. That's what I'm basically looking for in year one. And if we could exceed that and get 11, 12, 13 wins, get a win in the playoffs, that'll certainly exceed, and I'll be happy for sure. Winning a Super Bowl again, best case scenario. But again, on a topical level, I just want to see us get out of this quicksand. I want to see us be able to take one step in front of the other again and move in that direction. Let's go right here to Steeler Freak. John says this. I read Steelers may draft a quarterback this year and next. Mason could be gone. John, one name that I did read about this morning, and of course these names come, they go. Just like anything, Nussmeier, Mike, I'm reading this morning, is an ideal fit for the Pittsburgh Steelers, of course, from LSU. And this was somebody that you didn't hate last year. What happened? Didn't have quite the season that you'd want to see. But what happened, Mike, between last year and this year? Because again, the interest in Nuss certainly is not the same that it was prior to last college season.
Yeah, everything just got worse for Nussy Nuss from last year to this year, and just watching him more like his. I just didn't like his arm strength. I didn't realize also too he's another guy who was in college for a long time. I don't like 24-year-old quarterbacks coming out of college. I feel like at that point they kind of who they are at that point. I like my quarterbacks a little bit younger.
Maybe they're just sticking around to make more money.
Probably smart thing to do. Yeah. I just watching him play this year. It's like he seemed to be carried more by the talent than I thought he was elevating talent. And the more I watched him this year, it's like, he's not my guy. And I know there's a connection with him and McCarthy, and I just hope we don't see him drafted in the third round.
What if the connection between Nuss and McCarthy could somehow work and win you a Super Bowl? And the thing is, we don't know. I mean, nothing is written in stone. So, I mean, is that connection, is that whatever it is between the two gentlemen, is that worth anything?
I hope not. I hope it's not one of those things like, oh, because I think he knows like the family and has known him for a long time. I don't want the judgment to be clouded by a personal relationship. I want him to go in with a clear mind and like trust what the scouting staff is giving him.
All right, let me go to this next question that I have for you, Mike. I have here on my list. This is, I guess, a good time to insert it. We're going to talk about Lemon for a minute. Of course, the wide receiver out of USC. A lot of people liked him early. Some little sketchy, Mike, when it comes down to him interviewing. Of course, we all heard all this stuff. At what point? Because at first it was good. Then there was his terrible interviews. Then people were saying, well, you can't go by that. At what point do you start paying attention to the red flags? Because again, you know, you could kind of go back to the beginning of the show when people were talking about George Pickens. You let his great talent go. How many more head cases? And I'm not saying that Lemon is a head case. Just go bear with me for a minute. You know, at what point does those red flags come to you and say, well, you know what? We just had something similar with George Pickens. We had to send him down the road because we didn't want issues in the locker room. The guy gave up on plays, you know, all the things that we've seen him do. And of course, was ultimately part of him being shipped to Dallas. At what point, Mike, and again with Lemon, at what point do you take those? Do you start taking the red flags more serious than you normally would? Again, in other words, we could be heading in the same direction if this guy is a problem that we were with George, and we basically gave him away and had nothing because we were so against having him here. Obviously, you didn't bring anybody else in. Do any red flags about Lemon raise any concerns to you? And if they don't, why not? And if they do, why?
So after that interview and that came out, I went and looked at a bunch of stuff about Mekhi Lemon and went back and looked for interviews, and that's what he does. He does this weird little head movement and has his eyes raised and looking in weird places when he talks. He's always done that. So I was like, okay, why does he do that? And I couldn't figure out why. And I was like, okay, is this guy a nut? Is he a bad teammate? You start reading what the teammates say about him. He's a great teammate, great to everyone in the locker room, from coaches on down to the training staff. And going into like people who have classes with him, they're like, oh no, he's just a weird guy, but a good guy.
That's what I'm saying.
Never a bad guy, just a weird guy, but not a bad guy.
At what point do you start paying attention to the red flags of a weird guy? Where is the line that's drawn? Because a weird guy can be problems. I mean, you know, you need people to step in line. It's a team game. And obviously, we've had players that didn't quite fit that. Yeah. You know, we ignored the red flags before. Where's the line to where you say let's not even talk about Lemon in general? When people have red flags, what's the line that people are comfortable with taking that player? Or again, you take a player like George Pickens, who had all the talent in the world. He was still such a pain in the ass. We ended up getting rid of him for basically nothing. What's the line that you ride as an NFL team? Like, and again, not Lemon, just in general, that you start ignoring red flags and you just go with the pick anyway?
When they don't do anything to be detrimental to the team. When you're here, a coach is saying, yeah, he's weird, but hey, when we ask him to do something, he goes and does it right away. When you hear stuff like that, you're like, okay, he's just a weird looking guy. Was
George Pickens problems at Georgia? I don't remember hearing anything.
He had problems at Georgia. That's why he fell to the second round. He had like kind of like the stuff that we saw and heard in Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
like stuff like that. Where Lemon, you don't hear anything about that. You hear what a good teammate he is.
I mean, the thing is, somebody was going to pick Pickens at the end of the day. Yeah. I'm just trying to figure out where the line is of the teams that don't want to play the games and just focus on football. Let's get some smart guys in here. Yeah. You know what they're doing. I don't want a guy that's walking off the field as the ball's bouncing around in front of him. I don't want any of these issues. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. With Lemon, there's been none of that from what I've looked up in interviews and articles written about him. Like, he's always like football first, the hard worker, gonna do whatever's asked of him. Just moves his head weird in interviews, but does whatever the coaches ask of him. Never has been a problem at the university or for the football team. So when you read stuff like that, like, okay, this guy comes in, does what is asked of him, does what more is asked of him, produces on the field, but looks at the cameras weird, I'm fine with that. You're putting numbers up and you're not being a distraction and you're showing up on time, doing what the coaches tell you to do,
You know
helping
who
your
wasn't a
teammates.
pain in
Give
the
me
ass
that.
in college? Jordan Addison wasn't a pain in the ass in college. He's kind
No,
of a
he
pain
was
in,
not.
he's kind of a pain in the ass in the pros. So,
Yeah. So it's like,
that's what I'm saying.
yeah, like you never know. You just have to trust, like, from what you're hearing, and like teams employ private investigators when they send them after guys.
See,
They
that's what
think
I
they're
would
going to be
do
a red
because
flag.
I don't trust what I hear. I'd have private investigators following these guys around their whole lives. But let's move on. A lot of stuff we still got to get into, Mike. This portion of the show. I do want to say this, guys. If you did tune in a little bit later, we did mention we announced earlier that the Steelers do have three. They have three visitors coming today, Mike. 3 more visits on their Big 30. This is UConn wide receiver Skylar Bell is to be in town today for a visit. Also, Miami safety Jacoby Thomas, he is to be in town today for a visit. And finally, BYU's linebacker Jack Kelly, all 3 being in town today. As yesterday, we wrapped up 3 with Denzel Boston, of course, the wide receiver. Defensive tackle for Florida State, Darrell Jackson, and the linebacker, Jaden Duggar, out of Lafayette, Louisiana Lafayette. So that's what's going on, Mike, with the visits as of right now. It seems to be right around 10 to 13 visits left. The Steelers, of course, back at training today. They are in for their first off-season workouts this week. Started yesterday. Them and 9 other teams did kick off this week. Because they have brand new coaches. New head coaches get you an extra week. The rest of the league gets back into their workouts or kicks off their workouts next week. They kick that off. So the league, Mike, in the off season, it's still moving. It's moving right along. We have the draft just 2 weeks from tomorrow. Lots of things going on. Here's something that was said, Mike, about the Steelers. NFL analyst says the Steelers feel good about Rodgers returning before the draft. However, Adam Schefter yesterday on Debo and Joe, on the Pat McAfee show, on PMS, Adam Schefter says he thinks AR can blow by the deadline without consequence. Mike, which is it going to be? Again, says Steelers feel good about Rodgers returning before the draft. Adam Schefter says he thinks Aaron could blow by the draft deadline without any consequences. I think they're both right. Which one is more likely to you?
I'm thinking after the draft. I have a feeling that's when it's going to be announced, because I forget when he signed last year.
June. It was like May or June.
Yeah, so I have a feeling it might be on that timeline. I just have a feeling that that's when he'll be signed, and we'll have to deal with the whole is he or isn't he not coming back, and all the Steelers did this, so that means this. So if the Steelers didn't do that, so they're screwed. It's going to be the same talking points we had last year up until he signed.
Let's get back on the board. Let me try to get through some messages, guys. All right, I'm going to go right here. I do think I know where we're at. Maybe. Yeah, right here. Ty says saw that they said later rounds, which is good. Scoot up on that. Let's go right here to Steeler Free 365. Sold 14-3, beating tier 1 teams along the way without luck, with momentum starting in November. Context for me. And that's the thing too. Stay in the game with some of these good teams for once. Start beating teams that are good. That'd be a nice start. Don't get blown out in playoffs by Houston. Don't get blown out by the Buffalo Bills. Don't get blown. The Philadelphia Eagles beat the crap out of us when they start beating some good teams. That's when you know that things are going to start moving. Things are moving in the right direction. Is when you start winning against some of those teams, which we haven't been able to do for quite some time. Corey at Don't Drink That says Ohio will be the first college to get 10 tight ends drafted in 1 year. Ty says agree. I'm happy with Smith and Austin gone, and love and Tomlin love hate, but we needed new and change. I agree. That's where I'm at too, dude. Ty says this Smith will run Ryan Day's offense, and if he does that, I think he'll be just fine. He's not trying to recreate the, you know what I mean? Just go and do your job, and it's a good organization, as is ours. They're going to win their football games. Ohio State's going to win. Let's do Scoot. I do want to go back to Tortilla. Tortilla did say after Signing Arthur Smith is like when you go fart and shit at the same time. Go to fart and shit. Let's scoot up here. Also, we do want to say thank you to Tortilla for that. Cody says Mike McCarthy is the best thing that could have happened for Darnell and Pat. He actually uses tight ends, and I'm excited. I want to see the tight ends, especially a big guy like Darnell running down the seam like Gronk, catch one of them passes in the seam, and then just drag everybody down the field. I love that play. I love that to see them big tight ends doing that.
Me too. Just get Darnell involved more early in games too. Keep the defense off balance.
Tyrone agrees. He said, I agree, Cody. John just says that there's different levels of them. And you know what I think my beef is with this? Why is it always when these guys are getting famous, they always have a dying parent? Why? I mean, come on. If this was the only time, you see this all your life. Anytime somebody's about to get famous or get rich, they always seem to have a dying parent. I don't know. Maybe that's a story for Corey to do on his show. But I'm just saying, a lot of people that get famous always have somebody close die very soon thereafter. Still loyal. And now, of course, this is referring back to Fernando Mendoza, the conversation. Right here, Still Loyal says, I'm walking through the grocery store with Yins at full volume. That's awesome, man.
Hell yeah.
Grab them bananas right there. Get them bananas.
Get some bananas.
Is there any bread that doesn't have the heels on? If there's any bread that doesn't have heels on, grab that.
Get a big old cucumber.
I like Slim Jims. Grab Slim Jims. Cucumber.
Some olive oil.
I don't want to hear any more of this. Let's go to this right here. Tortilla says Kabuli only talks about my mom because he sat on her and she died.
Oh, that would be a terrible way to go. Cause of death.
Steel Loyal says Mike's trying to make people stare at me. Mike's like, make sure you grab the cucumbers. And what else? And what else did you say?
In the olive oil.
In the olive oil.
You're just making a nice little something. I don't know. It's gonna be a nice little tasty snack.
Let's go right here. Green Cody got that. Put them on, Steel Loyal. Yeah, man. You want I should sing? I can sing. Let's go right here to right here. I'm ready for the draft. Ty says, me too. And can you believe it's only 2 weeks away?
It's getting here fast, boys. Getting here fast.
Jamal, he says, still curtain for life. That's right, baby. That's right. Other people worrying about other shit. We have our Steelers to worry about. John says Mike McCarthy must manage Rodgers and Coach Howard. Big difference. I agree. That's well said. Ty says at work listening to my guys. Loyal, laugh my ass off. Facts always here, no matter what. It's slow as fuck. Yeah, man. We appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. It means a lot to us. It really does. Thank you. Cody says right direction, wrong direction. Just move in a damn direction. Get out of your own way. I think is what he's trying to say. Let's see some Steelers improvements this year. Steel Loyal says everybody in this grocery store about to know it's Steelers for life. That's right. Maybe Mike and I should sort of fight.
I was just thinking that. I just start screaming
because Mike, he yells so loud. I mean, everybody in the store is going to hear him.
Motherfucker! I don't want to get Loyal kicked out of the store though.
Steeler Freak Johnny says the Steelers are no longer feared. That includes coaching and style. It has been that way for over a decade. I agree. I do agree. I agree with that. A fighting food line. Let's go right here. The go to Tortilla. They're about to know Kabuli is having an affair with my mom too. Steel Loyal, there's nothing straight about One Direction. Steeler Freak John McVay versus Arthur Smith is like Brad Pitt versus Derpy at an all-girls ball. Speaking of where did that McVay or not McVay? Who's the guy up in McDermott? What happened with him? Did he go to another team, Mike?
Sean McDermott?
Yeah.
No, he's still there.
Is he? Who got fired? Somebody got fired. The guy in Buffalo.
Oh yeah. That is Sean McDermott. My bad. Yeah, I was thinking I pictured Kevin O'Connell for a second. I apologize. Yeah, he's still out there.
Has nobody picked him up, huh?
Mm-mm.
Interesting. Steel Loyal said that's an insult to Derpy. That's Steeler Freak. Right here to Steeler Freak says, bar, my dog is jacking up typing. Gotcha. A girl's bar. All girls bar. Let the dog speak. Steel Loyal says. Also, Tortilla says Derpy has just been cast in the movie Food Club. Here's I'll get to this in just a second. Let me move on here. Still Loyal says my dog has typed in chat before. Also, Johnny says I ask this question each year. If the NFL is a copycat league, when is the Steelers going to buy their Xerox? Good question, man. Steel Loyal says the Breakfast Club Part 2. Steel Loyal says, swear to God, Steeler fan base is the funniest group of fans in the league. We full of some comedians. We full of comedians, baby. No two ways about that. Steel Loyal says it's just a coping mechanism. Steeler Freak. Loyal, your dog knows more than the Master Tater. Where is that Master Tater today? I haven't seen him on the board.
I don't know.
Lemon is just socially awkward, I think, is what RB is trying to say. And that's kind of what I take, too. He's just kind of an awkward dude. Steel Loyal, John, my dog can sit, shake, roll over, and speak. I know Tater can't do any of that. And I know that for a fact, too. Laugh my ass off. Facts. Loyal John RB. He's probably on the spectrum. All jokes aside, a touch of Asperger's. Tyrone says this. My dog built like a dinosaur. Derpy got no chance. I'm pretty sure even if he wasn't built like a dinosaur, Derpy would have no chance. Right here, John says Mike McCarthy and Rodgers had a lot of friction before, Ryan. They weren't that close. But you know what I'm saying? They're like say a guy that you went to school with or you were in the military with, you might not have been the best friends. You might have butted heads, but you get together, years later, and it's like, I know this guy. We can work together, and you kind of have a certain cohesiveness. And I'm not saying that you're wrong. It's going to play out this way. That's just kind of the way that I'm seeing it. They know each other. They've been there, done that, worked together, and you don't always get along with the guys at work, but if you get together years later, it kind of comes together, and that's what I'm hoping. So I'm not debating what you're saying. I'm just kind of putting my hopes out there a little bit. They weren't that close as the media spins it now. That written, you were right. Got to support and see. Chronic bitching gets no trophy either. Scoot up here to RB. I'm serious. Something isn't all there, but that's fine. I have a touch of it, and I'm very awkward. I'm certain in certain situations. Me too. Believe me. Steel Loyal, he says, imagine A-Rod and Mike McCarthy getting into a fist fight at the 50-yard line.
Yeah, hey, be entertaining.
Steel Loyal, I think we are all autistic at RB. There's a little autism going on, a little tism. Steel Loyal says 2.5 Dum Yinzers is back. Big baby. That's right. In the house, as always.
Speaking of tism. Oy.
Cody says this. Rodgers can do what he wants. He owns the Steelers. Steel Loyal says he also owns the Bears still. Right here, John says Loyal. If was heated up in Green Bay, you aren't far off. Rodgers has $396 million, and his ego is bigger now than it was with Mike McCarthy at Green Bay. I'm writing about a sick fuck who loves attention more than his AI wife. I really cared for my AI wife. Remember that? Like I really
you did, man. Yeah, but like you I think you came on too strong for her. She was like, no, this is too much.
Did too. I was too much for her.
You were.
Steeler Freak says this. He says, turn the Dixie Cup into a bucket of KFC. That is derpy. Steel Loyal, Mike trying to make people stare at me.
Never.
Cody says Ryan Day looked like a fake person on Cam Hayward's podcast. Reminds me, Ryan Day, and again, Arthur Smith, as Mike pointed out early on in the Arthur Smith the experiment. He looks like one of the generic coaches on Madden. Like, say you were getting ready to create a player or create a coach, that generic shell that they give you before you get in and change the hats and the earphones and the headphones. They look like that together. Ryan Day and Arthur Smith. They're weird looking fucks. Ryan Day looks like Lady Elaine from Mr. Rogers. Do you remember that? Whenever they get in that little trolley and go off to Neverland or whatever, Imagination Land, that scary ass Lady Elaine that lived in a museum. Ryan Day kind of has that face. Steeler Freak says Nuss can use Kenny's gloves he left in his locker. Steel Loyal says they might be too big. He might be too big. Cody, do you guys think Deontay Johnson is any good? I think Deontay Johnson is terrible. He ran good routes, though. Listen, I did want to say that. Because RB did come along after the fact and made this point, and I agree with this point 100%. I think he ran fantastic routes. I just don't know if there was much after that I really believed in, especially walking past the ball, a live ball that's bouncing in front of you as you're irritated or whatever his problem. There was so many things about him I didn't like. But again, he did run fantastic routes.
See, I think Cody's trying to get off the enemy list because that made me laugh. He might move over to the friends list on that.
Still Loyal says, he goes, did you really just ask that question? Ty says this. He goes, I'm back. What I missed? Not a whole lot, my man. Let's go to Cody right here where he says, Mama told me not to. I did it anyway. Love misbehaving. That's Cody. We wouldn't. Yeah, that's what Cody does. That's what he does.
Chaos junkie.
Let's get to the Steeler Freak. Says I read up Tyler Shuck after watching him play. He's an example of going in the second round, but was better than all teams thought. Of course, his sophomore year is coming. To me, he has it. I think so too, John. To do what he did with the Saints and to get these guys to have the finish the way they did. I mean, the Saints were down and out at the end of that. Halfway through that season, he came in and won a handful of games. So again, I'm liking what I'm seeing from Shuck down there. But that's where you're making a good point. You just don't know. You don't know who's going to be able to make the transition. Mike, it's not like it's tough to tell. It's tough to tell who's going to be able to get it done and who isn't. And Fernando Mendoza, he's a good question. He's going to be a fun one to watch because, again, some people say, maybe he being the best quarterback available, you'd certainly like to see a little bit better than him, but he did win a national championship, but so did Will Howard. So, I mean, there's all kind of questions, and it's hard. Again, it would be, if it was easy, 32 teams would have their guy, but I guess that's part of the challenge. And that's why we do cover football the whole way through the year, because it's more than the 17 games played between the 50, the 100 yards, and it's all big and it all goes into it, guys. So we will see moving forward. It's a tough thing to do. It's a tough thing to do. And then look at teams that get the GOAT. It was a total accident. Tom Brady being a 6th round pick, they probably figured out this guy, he could be a backup to Drew. If we don't need him anymore, whatever. And then ended up playing out that he won 7 Super Bowls himself. So again, it's not an easy thing to do. Don't touch my Asperger's, Tortilla says.
All right, Cartman, settle down.
Steeler Freak Johnny says, I read Beck's eyes. Beck's eyes allows him to scan the field better than Doppler radar. He could be the guy. There it is.
Franchise, baby.
I just don't understand why that one eye is so much lower than the other one. I mean, what could that possibly be? Let's do scoot forward. As we are rounding third here, Mike, we're about that time. Steel Loyal says, do you really just ask that question? Of course, going back, there's the quote, comment about Ryan Day. Ty, I'm about to drive, listening. Man, be careful. And Steel Loyal says, I can't wait to hear Cody's dialogue during the draft. Guys, 15 days away. The NFL draft coming right here to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Very excited about this. Most people are. It's going to be a jam-packed city. People coming from all over the place, all over the world to Pittsburgh for the draft. Fans coming from all over the country. Big stuff. Mike, why don't you go ahead and tell everybody about, yes, tell everybody about the website. I have a little bit more, but we'll get into this in a second.
All right. Head on over, everyone, to the Dumyinzers.com. It's over there. We got all of our draft stuff. We got a boatload of social media links over there. We got the link to the new merch store over at TeePublic, where you can find some of our brand new designs. Check it out. Anything you buy, that money goes right back into this show to keep giving you guys the best Steeler talk that you can find on YouTube. So check it out at the Dumyinzers.com, baby.
Go check it out, guys. A lot of cool stuff over there. And Mike has updated the site recently, and it looks good. There's a lot of good stuff. Articles from Chop, from RB, from Mike regarding the draft. Mike does get his Mike does get his mock draft up every Monday. A lot of cool stuff. Do go check it out. www.the2dumyinzers.com. That's www.the2dumyinzers.com. Cody says, I hate everything.
It's not queued up. I'm sorry.
We have to get a list of all these crash outs, Mike, where Like, because where you were screaming at the top of your lungs yesterday, that would fall in that category. We would be able to use that because it's you just crashing out. We need to get a whole collection of all those from the show.
We do. Fuck you, motherfucker.
This is what I wanted to say. I didn't know if I wanted to do this before we got into the question, but guys, also last thing on my list is this: 49 coaches in the NFL. 49 coaches in the NFL have Pittsburgh connections, either being a former player from the Steelers, a former coach of the Steelers, or from being from the Pittsburgh area. 49 different coaches in the league, different levels, of course, that have Pittsburgh connections. So always a lot of love and a lot of Pittsburgh connections. And also, you're coming into town over at the Science Center. They do have the football story, that big thing that they have going on with the Western PA and the Steelers and all the great stuff that goes on here with football. A lot's going to be going down in the city in just 15 days. Can't wait for that. Let me grab a couple more of these, Mike, and we're going to get into the question of the day. So start getting your thinking cap on while I'm grabbing these last couple of messages. Steel Loyal, W Song, Tortilla, Lindsay Sommer, love my crash outs. Lindsay's, let's go to Cody. Cody says, oh yeah, you got favorite 90s white punk song. Steel Loyal says this, let's hope no crash outs during the draft. And Cody says Tyrone crash out so hard that Kansas game. Guys, let's get into the question of the day. No changes. It's going to be a draft question. It could be Steelers. It might not be Steelers. At the end of the day, there's only so many Steelers draft questions that you could ask, guys. So we're going to kind of intertwine them in and out. But guys, that doesn't change anything. Today is going to be a Steelers draft question. Put on your thinking cap. Mike, put yours on as well, everybody. Let's do this thing. It's time. It's time for the trivia question of the day. Here we go. Which three teams never had a first overall draft pick? There's only been three. What are the three teams that never had a first overall draft pick? Take a minute to think that over, guys. We're live 5 days a week right here, Monday through Friday, 11:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m., even a little later, as you see today, right here on the tube.
On tube.
Question of the day. If you think you know it, if you don't, if you can have a guess, throw it up on the board. Let me read it again. Which three teams never had a first overall draft pick? Let me make something a little clearer. It's out of all the teams that are in the league right now. It's nobody that left. It's nobody that's new. It's out of these teams that's in the league right now. And the question one more time. Which three never had a first overall draft pick? I'm looking on the board. Still Loyal. He is saying this. I know the Broncos haven't. Jamal says crash outs are always my favorite players. How about Cody? Cody with his good pick. He says Bill Clinton. I love Cody's picks or his answers for the trivia. It's Bill Cosby one day, Bill Clinton the next day. Let's go right here. Drawing a blank on the other Steel Loyal is saying. There's three. There's three of them. Tortilla is saying Packers, Mendenhall, and Packers, Broncos, and Mendenhall. I want to say the Ravens haven't either is what Steel Loyal was saying. And he said he's drawing a blank on the other one, Mike. The question is, which three teams never had a first overall draft pick? What is your thought process?
Like the Ravens popped into my head as well, just going through teams. I like the other choices of the Broncos and the Packers. So I'm gonna piggyback off of them and go Ravens, Broncos, and Packers.
All right, Cody. Cody says Jaguars, Panthers, and Bucks. Do what you want with that, but they are real teams. Tyrone. Ty says this: Broncos, Seahawks, and Texans. I don't know. Laugh my ass off. Cody, Jags, Panthers, and Bucks. A lot of good picks out there, Mike. So you were saying the Ravens, the Broncos, and the who?
Packers.
And the Packers. Is this your final answer?
Final answer.
All right, let me lock you in. John is saying Lions, Tigers, and Bears. Oh my. Give you another moment. Tortilla Steel says, where did the Seahawks draft Russ at? Tortilla Steel Loyal asked that. Tortilla says third round. Guys, Tyrone says, wait, not Texans, CJ Stroud. Could be the Ravens, he says. So again, we did get Mike's final answer. Mike says the Ravens, the Broncos, and who?
Packers.
The Packers. Steel Loyal says Ravens, Broncos, Seahawks. And Steel Loyal says that's my final answer. All right, guys. Question of the day. Here we go. Which three teams never had a first overall draft pick in the NFL? And this is between all the current teams. No tricks, no trick questions. Ravens, Broncos, Seahawks. Ty agrees. I'm going to say this. I'm going to say somebody did get it right. Question of the day. Which three teams never had a first overall draft pick in the NFL draft? The answer to the question certainly is this, as Ty and Steel Loyal are saying, Mike, it is in fact Baltimore, Denver, and Seattle. Baltimore, Denver. I mean, you were close.
Yeah.
I mean, switch out the Packers and Seattle. You had it.
Yep.
But great job, guys. That is the answer. The Packers, I'm sorry, not the Packers, but the Ravens, the Broncos, and the Seahawks never had a number one overall draft.
Wow.
Steel Loyal says, boom, we figured that shit out. Hell yeah, Tyrone, they got it. Great job, guys. That is correct. Baltimore, Denver, Seattle is the answer. None of those teams ever had a number one. Even the Steelers back in 1970, of course, you remember. You remember, Mike. You remember 1970.
I remember. I was there in spirit.
That was their last number one overall pick, of course, Terry Bradshaw. Getting all that great 70s rolling. I wish I would have been a little older to see and understand and appreciate, but you know what? What are you going to do? I could watch the videos like everybody else at this point. Let's grab a couple more of these messages here. Tortilla helped me as well. Steel Loyal says, let's go. Cody. Cody says Texans and Stroud and Anderson back-to-back first and third picks. And Ty says this, yes, sir. Glad I caught that Texans CJ Stroud one. And that's what I thought a lot of people were going to do. But you catch CJ Stroud, you did get that, guys. Great job. Great job. Great job, Mike. I do want to say, what do I want to say? I don't know what I want to say. I want to say this. Enjoy. The weather's going to start warming up, guys. It got real warm last week in the 80s. Cooled off a little bit, but you know what? Once it starts getting warm, Mike, again, you're not going to want to go without having your Duquesne Pilsner. That's right. Duquesne Pilsner is available, Mike, in Giant Eagle right now in 6 and 12 packs and wherever cases are sold. The people at Duquesne Pilsner, they really do us good. We're just asking, to show them a little love. Maybe you don't drink beer. Maybe you don't really drink. Swing over to their social media pages. Hit the follow, hit the like. It'll all help. In different ways, guys. Again, Duquesne Pilsner, Mike, we always have it on tap here in studio for everything, every event, everything going on. We love it. Made here, right here in Pittsburgh. It says right on the can, grab a Duke.
Grab a Duke.
Let me grab a couple messages here, Mike. Before we do start the wrapping up process, I do want to grab. I don't want to miss anybody today. Cody says they looked it up. I synced it. He says I synced it.
I synced it.
And they might have. They started getting it right kind of toward the end. So, you know what? Sometimes I see Mike pecking over there at his keyboard. I'm sure even after he answers his final question, he sometimes, I think, peeks in to get an advance on what the answer is. So we don't have a problem with that. Let me go right here to Ty. He says, Cap, I ain't Mike. There it is. I ain't Mike.
On the list.
I like I even had to tell you about Mike doing that, huh? Steel Loyal says, yeah, we got 4 hands. We can type in chat and on Google at the same time. We do have the most talented board, Mike. We truly, honestly do. The talents of people on our board is amazing. It really is amazing. And they're very knowledgeable bunch, too. I got to be honest with you. Tortilla says, I don't know if I screwed up, but Google says Rashard Mendenhall.
It's always Rashard Mendenhall.
It's always Rashard Mendenhall. Let's go right here. Steeler Freak says, 1970, I was 6 years old. Ask became my father's TV channel, remote control on Sundays. I was forced to Steeler fandom. Well, we thank your father. Look what it did. Look at the man that it created. I got to say, we're happy with Dad. Ty, good show, you bastard. We appreciate you, my man. We always appreciate you, Ty, and everybody. Great job as well, guys. You all are a part of this. Yins are a part of this as well. Cody says, all my homies on the list. I do want to say a couple of things before we do get ready to wrap it up, though. Not only Duquesne Pilsner, you can check out our social media as well. We are all over the internet. You could get on, follow the Two Dum Yinzers, and see what and keep up with the Two Dum Yinzers are up to on a day-to-day basis. You can check us out over at Facebook, X formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, Threads, and even TikTok. You can go over, hit the follow button, and keep up with what's going on with the show. Also, if you haven't had a chance yet, do hit the like button down below. Hit the like, hit the sub, the share, even a comment. It all helps in the algorithm, guys. We do appreciate it all. Thank you. Let me grab Steel Loyal here. He says, nah, I just knew the Broncos haven't. Had a feeling the Ravens didn't. And then Tortilla helped me out with the Seahawks. So it was it's all good. Hey, teamwork makes the dream work, baby. Cody says, lies and deceit. But you know what? Steel Loyal replies and says, Cody, you hamster.
You numpty.
You numpty. That is one thing I do miss about the Tater Bader not being here. He does throw that numpty word around a little bit. And it's kind of funny because, of course, we don't say numpty. We're here in America. But you think of this shit off the air. And, sometimes during the day, if I'm in the car driving down the street or something, somebody cuts you off. You're like, you fucking numpty. And nobody ever hears me. But those things stick with you. And I'm not going to lie. I've said numpty in my own time. I have. I'm not proud to admit it, but I've done it. Mike, thoughts on today's show? We talked, of course, the workout. We've talked visits. We talked draft. All kind of talk today, Mike. Final thoughts on today's show?
Good show here. Makai Lemon may be a weirdo, social awkward guy, but I wouldn't mind him here. I like the guys we brought in for the visits as well.
The weird social awkward guys that seems to work for our show too. I don't know if anybody
it does too. All right, I fucking love it. So more the better. I've liked Makai Lemon during the entire draft process. I think it'd be a fun little thing here. I guess great show, man. Everyone on the board was awesome except Cody. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Oh, come on.
Throw that out there.
I thought Cody was fun. Cody was fun today, as always.
He knows what he did. He knows what
he knows what he did. Steel Loyal says Deshaun Watson doing the Humpty dance with the Browns money. Cody Silva. The Humpty dance. Yeah. What else, Mike? What else? We'll be back tomorrow at our regular time, of course, to do it all over again. Pirates played today. I don't tell me. Please don't tell me. I have to get off and see what's going on. They started at 12:45. It may be over, close to being over. But then they'll be off tomorrow and then start a weekend series against the Cubs on Friday in the Windy City. Mike, the Penguins, they're finally back tomorrow. So we're gonna do everything that we can tomorrow, all of our Pittsburgh sports and all that we could scrape up about our Pittsburgh Steelers might get in day 2 of the off-season training that did kick off yesterday, and to also keep on top of everything that we could keep on top of with only 2 weeks and 1 day away from the NFL draft right here in Pittsburgh, PA, guys. So much stuff. We hope to see everybody back tomorrow. I do want to say this. I want to say thank you so much to everybody for coming and hanging out and checking us out today. We certainly appreciate each and every one of you. We truly, honestly do. We wouldn't do it without you guys. Thank you so much. I want to say thank you, everybody on the board. You guys always keep things interesting here on the show. You truly you do. You are the lifeblood, guys. Teamwork makes the dream work. And you know what? You guys are just as important as we are to the show, and we couldn't appreciate you more. We thank you so much, guys. The lifeblood of the show. Terrible board, and then everybody at home as well. Everybody that's tuning in, listening, watching. Maybe you're at the gym, maybe you're at work, maybe you're at home, just watching on the TV. We thank you too. Mike, why don't you sing a little Humpty dance to wind the show down?
Once got busy in the Burger King bathroom.
All right, stop what you're doing, because I'm about to ruin the image and the style that you're used to. I look funny, but you're making money. CCO world, I hope you're ready for me. You're getting round. I'm a new fool in town. Stown's way down by the underground. Drink up all the Hennessy you got on your shelf. So just let me introduce myself. My name is Humpty, pronounced with an umpty. All the ladies, oh, how they like the funky. All the rappers in the top 10, please allow me to bump thee. Yeah, what's up? What you know about Humpty, Mike? Come on. That was my stuff back in the day. Big Humpty, everybody. Cody says this Mike likes anybody from Penn State. Anyone from Penn State.
Indiana Hoosiers, baby. Here we go.
What else? Guess we'll be back tomorrow again. Tomorrow's Thursday, and it will be 2 weeks out from the NFL draft, guys. I can't believe it. It'll be here soon. What am I forgetting, Mike?
You got it all, brother. You got it all.
Maybe you're in the restroom taking a tater. Taking a tater. Cody. Again, anything, guys, before we do roll, wrapping up, Mike, this is episode 943. The end of next week will be at 950, just 50 shows away from the big 1000. Coming up this summer, right around the same time as the 5-year anniversary. As a matter of fact, Mike, if we don't miss any more days, and there's a little bit of a wiggle, there is a little bit of wiggle room, but if we didn't miss any more days, it's going to put us like almost exactly at the 5-year mark when we hit that 1,000 shows. It's truly
shit.
fascinating. It really is. And again, there is a little wiggle room just in case anything comes up, somebody gets sick, there's issues with computers or whatever. But it's all going to kind of land us right around that same time. So very excited about that, as we do have a lot of big things coming up this summer for the big 1000 show. Maybe I'll sing my whole Humpty. I'll do my whole Humpty number at the show. But we do have a lot of things, guys, coming up for that. Cannot wait. Things are moving along. Like, we were halfway between the last game of the playoffs and the first game in the preseason. Smack dab in the middle, our Pittsburgh Steelers. So much stuff going on with this team, and it's looking good, I got to admit. So we'll keep on top of everything. We'll be back tomorrow at our regular time to do it all over again. We hope to see everybody then. Mike, anything else? Speak now or forever hold your peace. All right, guys, I want to thank you so much again. Hope to see everybody tomorrow. Hope everybody has a safe hump day. And I you know what? I can't, Mike, I can't leave without doing this.
No, I said hump everything. What? Too much.
And we thank you so much, guys. We are family, even though Tater's a freak, is what Tortilla is saying. I agree. I couldn't agree more. You guys are the best. We thank you so much. We love you guys. Have a great hump day. Whatever that means to you. Have yourself a great hump day. Thanks, guys. Ryan even has the voice down. Thank you, John. Everybody, we want to thank you so much. Have a great, safe day. We'll see everybody tomorrow at our regular time for Derpy, for Chop, for RB, for Finch, for Mike, myself, the two Dum Yinzers. Everybody have a great Wednesday. Sorry, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.